know what I'm talking about?
I've heard that phrase.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was on TikTok, but you got to check it out.
I seen the trend. I seen the trend behind it, yeah, but I ain't know who saw it.
Yeah, it's Tank. You got to check them out. You got to.
Tank and the Bangers.
Yeah.
That don't sound right, bro.
I'm telling you.
That sounds like some Pornhub shit, boy.
I don't even want to type that in.
I'm telling you.
So
I'm telling you.
Crazy.
I'm telling you.
Especially with a name like Tank. Boy, I don't know.
I'm telling you, Tank and the Bangers. Wait till you hear it.
And the Bangers.
Yeah, they got a tiny desk too. And that tiny desk.
Yeah, they just letting anybody have a tiny desk these days.
It seems like it. Damn, bro. Who just performed? It was somebody that just performed. People were speaking highly of it. Was it the Locks?
Yeah, the Locks.
The Locks did one, and SWV did one just recently.
Okay.
What does SWV stand for again?
Sisters with Voices.
Sisters with Voices.
How many songs the Locks do? 2? How many hits they got? They got like 2 or 3, right?
So I think they did a B-side shit. You sound like me, Ken. You said
sound like me. The Locks did 1.5 mil.
I can't believe that.
I have their first. I have their albums, but I also know because I have their albums. They definitely digging into the B-side shit.
That was all 5 boroughs. You split that 1.5 viewership.
And Connecticut. It was all 5 boroughs in Connecticut and Philly.
I think SWV, they went 2 albums deep. So the first one, which I just listened to that, I haven't listened to that in a minute. I just re-listened to that. And then the second one after that, New Beginnings. Is it New Beginnings?
That's the one where they sampled Michael Jackson.
Well, that's the Human Nature remix to Right Here, I believe. But they at least got 3. They could probably do about 3 or 5 songs off the first album.
I think Pharrell did that production too for the remix. Because I think he's the one he's the background that says SWV. That's him.
Interesting. Okay.
Showing you on mute. Okay, we can't hear what you're saying.
What?
What'd you say?
SWV got 6 albums.
6?
Mm-hmm. Christmas album, but they got 5 regular albums.
Hold on, bro. How many?
Ken stopped listening after 2. That's what he said.
Hey, the first 3 was dope.
The first 3, okay. So they got 3.
The first 3 was dope. Yeah. After that, it's kind of,
It's About Time, New Beginning, and then Release Some Tension. I forgot about Release Some Tension.
That was really
I actually
good.
Bought this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one with okay.
The question I have for all y'all: what was the last R&B album that y'all bought?
You said bought? Sheesh.
It's probably a Foreign Exchange. If you want to count.
Do you remember the last R&B album that you bought?
It was probably Day 26.
Ooh.
And not streamed? Oh, Jesus.
I bought mint condition, Living the Luxury Brown.
That's the last one, though, Shelton?
Probably so. Probably the last one I bought, because after that, streaming,
That was a record, wasn't it? Was that a record player?
Nah, that ain't been that long ago.
Nigga had a vinyl.
Bro, you bought Day 26, bro?
That's what I was gonna circle around to that.
I was gonna let that ride, but that is crazy. I'm wondering how that even happened for you, bro. Like, were you like watching the show?
He had to be watching.
You had
the
to
show.
be a fan of the show. That had to be it, bro.
Mine
was probably called Thomas Emotional.
That first album was really good.
That's a long time ago too, bro.
Or Life Jennings, some shit like that. Life Jennings, that first Life Jennings. I remember buying them.
Well, I just been getting into vinyl as far as collecting them. So I would say technically the last R&B album, maybe I don't know if you could consider it R&B, was Erykah Badu's Buddhism.
That's
the first one.
Yeah, that first album.
Baduism.
Baduism.
Purple cover.
Yeah, the black purple
Yeah.
cover. Yeah. But I'm trying to go all the way back to like an actual CD that I bought of R&B. I don't even remember. But it just shows you how much streaming has eliminated that industry.
Mhm.
I remember I used to
Man,
have a whole, that little pack of
A
CDs and
little
stuff you
binder
have
you
for
just
the
right.
for the
you,
road
me-
trips and all that.
you remember you used to get the CDs for a penny? What that CDs?
Yeah, it was BMG Music and Columbia House.
That's how I started my
Oh,
collection.
I
That was
remember
those were
that.
my first
Yeah,
CDs. I
yeah.
But it wasn't a
Oh, that's
penny, Shelton. It was 99 cents, wasn't it?
yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. It was like you could get it for like at one time it
Nah,
was
they
a
had them
penny,
for a
Kifo.
penny. Yeah, and they
It
used to
was
be
a
a penny,
penny.
Kifo.
Really?
I remember because
Yeah,
they'll
it was
charge you
like
for shipping it. They charge you for shipping and handling.
yeah, and that's
It
how
was
they
like
got you in it.
$6 or some shit like that. But then you had to buy the CDs, and the CDs was like $30.
Yeah, it was
And you
like
had to buy like 12 of them.
Yeah, it was
but
crazy.
that's what I was telling y'all. On August 23rd, Maxwell has a live Tiny Desk.
Oh, I watched that. No, I'm lying.
Nah,
I
I'm
like
watching.
Maxwell, but I'm not watching Tiny Desk like that.
Yeah,
But
I like it. I like it. I
hey,
like the Tiny Desk.
and last question, we'll get the show started because I know they came here for sports. But Shelton, have you heard Maxwell's version of "Simply Beautiful"? Al Green's song.
No, I have not.
Is that on streaming?
Yeah, it's on.
I
Yeah,
need that.
it is. Yeah, check it out.
That's one of my
pretty
favorite Al
good.
Green songs.
Mhm.
All
Before
right.
we get to it,
Mhm.
on Netflix, I don't know if it's new or not, but I just came across mine as a Steve McNair
Gotta
Untold
watch it.
about his death.
Gotta watch
Really
it.
good.
Yeah,
Really good.
Lou, did you put me on the podcast? Because they got a podcast
Podcast,
for it.
yeah.
I think you put me on
Yeah.
it because I listened to it. That's what makes me want to watch it so bad.
Yeah, that Untold is really good, man.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Maybe we can cover it on here on Frames.
Mm.
All right. Enough small talk. This is a place where sports opinions collide. Dead in Sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inge. Joining me, we have the whole crew here. We got Nick, we got Spike, we got FIFA, and we have Shelton. What up, fellas?
Hey, man.
What up?
Appreciate you guys tuning in. Tonight, we continue our rankings. I was about to say positional countdowns, but tonight necessarily isn't really a position. But we're gonna talk about coaches,
Which
and
is
then make sure
the timing is perfect for us to have this conversation too.
okay.
Here we go.
And
the annual hate is coming from your doppelganger.
Next week is the position everybody's waiting on. We're building up to it. It will be quarterbacks, top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. So make sure you guys tune in for that next week. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Things are heating up too, man. It's a lot of headlines, different things popping up here and there. But before we get into some NFL news and notes, let's jump into another football sport that has been popular because of the video game. But now we're going to talk about the actual game itself. College football is back. Labor Day weekend is the premiere of the 2024-25 season. Along with the first year, there will be a 12-team college football playoff tourney. How do you all feel about the extension of the college football playoffs and how it breaks down? It might be a reason why Saban left.
It is.
Possibly. I think
One
Saban
of
left more so for the NIL. And I feel like because of the NIL, I'm cool with the playoff. Mainly because we're talking, more football. We're talking for some teams 3 to 4 more. 3 more games? Because there's a bye week for 4 teams.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of extra football to not get paid. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these guys aren't going to make the league. Let's just be honest, right? And some guys that are en route to make the league may get hurt in this game. So the compensation, because there's compensation now, I'm cool with it. But at the end of the day, Ken, this is America and this is football. football is the number one sport in America. So more of it always makes more financial sense. And I'm not necessarily the biggest college football fan, but I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued because I feel like now we're eliminating more biased in who plays for the national championship game. It's not selected by the coaches, the media, this, that, and the third. I understand you got to be ranked in. I believe it's obviously the first 12, and then you go duke it out. And to me, that's the best way to go about it. So I think it's going to be highly successful. I think everybody that enjoys and loves football, this is what they want, and I think the people are finally getting it.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing for a lot of people a long time coming. And the reason being is we've always wanted, there's always somebody that's on the bubble that's left out every year that deserves a shot at that finals. Also, one loss, it makes you less afraid to play some of the major games because one loss won't necessarily kick you out of the playoffs. So you're not as afraid to put that matchup on your schedule. That makes more sense than bringing in a cupcake, just to pad your stats to get you to the playoffs. So we'll see a lot more interest in football, in my opinion. Also, that team with the one loss, two losses has a shot. There's nothing like March Madness in basketball. Nothing like it. Every year, March Madness stands out. So you add that effect to football, which is American sport, and you get nothing but fireworks. That's why I'm looking so forward to it. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. As Brandon said in the chat, though, it's still going to be selected by a committee. So they're still picking the 12 teams, which is still going to be fun because in college football, making it 4 instead of 12 keeps a lot more people interested. That 13th team, the 14th team, speaking to your point, Sheldon, it's still going to happen. It's just going to happen further down the line. But I think with the release of college football, having the NIL deals in place, people are more familiar with these players because so many people are playing the game. It's not like college basketball where somebody may be there 1 year and they're gone. You know these players. You're playing with them on a video game. They've been there 2-3 years. Now you get to see more of them in the playoffs. Some of the playoff games are going to be home games as far as not being in a neutral site. That's going to be good. College football is one of the most exciting when you're talking about atmospheres other than soccer. It's probably number 2, even beyond the NFL. Like you see a college football game, it's 100,000 people there and they got the chants and all the different stuff. Getting that exposure late in the year with meaningful football games late with the playoffs, it's going to be big for college football. I think it'll take them, like FIFO said, he's a casual fan. It's gonna rise that fandom, not rival the NFL, but it's gonna spike really high.
Oh, go ahead, FIFO.
Hold on. Yeah. Why don't you think it's going to rival the NFL?
I think people just the NFL is still a different type of football. It's still professional football. Like even though college football is really good, a lot of it has to do with atmosphere. The NFL is a better brand of football. It's presented better. The players are better. Like it's more professional. So I think that's why the NFL will continue to be king. But you could see, I could see a world. Of course, y'all know my bias. I ain't really a big NBA fan, but I could see a world where college football is number 2 now because of the playoffs, because of the video game. So many people paying attention to it. If Dion decides to stay in college, that's another big coach, a big name out there on Front Street. It'll be a very big popularity spike, I feel like, over the next couple of years with the playoff and adding 12 teams. And like somebody just said, Tweet Open Doors just said, more parity in the NFL too. You're going to get the same every year. It's going to be probably the same 4 or 5 teams in college. What's going to be really interesting to see is who the other teams are.
Also, with the NFL, it's a smaller pool size, so there's more like allegiance to these teams in the NFL than it is for college.
I was against going with 12 teams. I wanted it just to expand to 8 because, like, to Lou's point, I think other people mentioned in the chat, like, you're always going to have the 2 teams outside of the top whatever bitching and moaning about why they didn't get in and why their losses aren't that bad and shit like that. We even see Nick Saban. He went on the whole ESPN run trying to say, like, hey, look, nigga, we should still be in this bitch.
It worked.
It did work. It did work, but I think it's mostly because it's Nick Saban more than anything else. But I don't mind the expansion. I'm actually more interested in the realignments of the conferences with like the Big Ten getting. I think USC and UCLA or something like that. Like, and then you see the Big 12 getting different teams that they haven't had before. Like, I look at that more interesting because now when you're talking about the top 4 seeds in each conference, when they win that conference, like they had a gauntlet to get through there. And then you may have to face that team. Then you may have to face that team again in the playoffs. Like, I like that. To Lou's point, I do like the home field advantage. It's something that I think college football mistakenly didn't do for decades, when it's like, why build up all this hype in these unique places across the country and not capitalize off that during the bowl games and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be great. I think this will rival the NBA when it comes to ratings, because I think once the LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry's move on and go to broadcasting or whatever, I think we're going to really see how valuable the NBA is when we got to move on to just talking about Jason Tatum and them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's going to be as blockbuster as like, oh shit, we seeing USC go against Ohio State, or we seeing Michigan
Notre
go against
Dame.
like we seeing all these brands that we haven't heard about in like big meaningful games. Like, we're gonna see who really has home field advantage when you got to play at the shoe, or when you got to play in Death Valley and all that shit. Like, I think this is good.
My bad.
No, go ahead.
And to your point, when you say that, Nick, with the NIL money, similar to the NFL, you're going to start picking up more months of the season for the offseason stuff, which the NBA is famous for. Like, once they start reporting on and start talking more about how much these players are making in their NIL deals, now you're going to want to go see him in high school. Now you're getting the Wemby tapes and all of that stuff of the high school football players, because some such and such has his freshman coming in. He making $1 million a year next year. What he look like. And then you have that same similar talk that you had with Wemby and you have with the high school recruits for the basketball more so than football. But I think that starts to pick up as well. And to your point about the conferences, I think that the college is headed towards just having 2 conferences like the NFL, like an AFC and an NFC. You have however many teams in each, and then those will be the conferences that play in the playoffs, and then they'll play each other.
Spike, there's one thing I disagree with you. I don't think that high school kids are going to get a lot more press because there's so many high school kids. You know what I'm saying? The numbers obviously go through a filter. The higher football and the higher you go up in your career, right? It's going to be less and less people, which is why the NFL is the best product, because you have the best of the best playing very high level football. In college or in high school, I don't think we're going to get that coverage, because you know why? Like, who is going to cover that? Like, a lot of these YouTube people, they're not going to cover that. ESPN's not going to cover that. So they're not going to get that notoriety. Where I see the notoriety staying is with their hype tapes that they put on YouTube already. And that's how we get to know some of these names. Some of them don't pan out. Some of them do. You know what I'm saying? But that's where it's going to stay. I don't think that there's going to be an even bigger light on the high school kids, even though they're making some money right now too. I don't think that's the case. Unless you have already a high-profile name.
I think that's coming. I think the high profile names and the coverage of it, to answer your question, that's going to become a marketplace. Like we see all these other media things popping up, all these other social TikToks or whatever it may be, with these 20-second reels on who this is and how much they're making. I think that's going to be a really big thing as this stage starts to broaden. Like we said, the playoffs are happening this year. A lot of these players' names are going to be in bright lights because they're seeing playoff games now versus 2 games and it being 12 teams now. Once that happens, people are going to want to know, okay, where are these players coming from? How much are they making? And then there's going to be a niche market for it. Like, you're going to see the YouTube pages and all the other shit that you see already covering the high school athletes, talking about how much they make and all of these things.
Maybe not. I don't see it. But I think that you'll probably see an uptick in ratings for these 12 playoff games. College football, for the most part, has been dull and boring, and nobody gave a damn since the Reggie Bush years.
That's
and
not
Caleb Williams was the only one that made
Dion
the
Sanders
sport.
had people staying up to 2 a.m. last year.
They did.
And look at what that was last year. What about the year before that? Caleb Williams made football interesting, with college football interesting for a hot set.
I would argue when Jim Harbaugh came back to coach at Michigan, a lot of people started watching Michigan games, Ohio State games were bigger than ever.
And then he kept losing. Then they ain't give a damn anymore.
Then he started winning, and then he won it all.
I know you hate Alabama, Ken, but on Saturdays that's like must-see TV at 3:30 on CBS.
Yeah, in the South,
the SEC game of the week. No, everywhere.
Georgia,
it's nationwide news.
And I was gonna say, and now it switched from Alabama to Georgia. Georgia is that team that everybody's checking for. So everybody's wanting to see these Georgia guys, see what kind of talent.
And who else? Who else?
Georgia, Alabama,
Tennessee. Keep going. Yep.
Ole Miss.
Who? Tennessee. Tennessee ain't been relevant since Peyton Manning and T. Martin's been there, bro.
Yeah, they almost went to they were almost undefeated 2 years ago.
Yeah,
the quarterback got hurt.
Nice. They
don't make them. Yeah, they were almost undefeated, but that don't make them relevant.
It made them relevant again. That's what I'm saying.
And you also got Texas. Texas is back as far as like them being they were in the playoffs just last year. So and then there's that underlying storyline is Arch Manning really that good? If he can't take Quinn,
he's here now? Because they'll watch Arch Manning.
He's not even starting yet.
He ain't even starting. He been there.
So we got a year. So we got a while. Bro,
Oregon is good, Ken. People follow them nationally. Of course, Ohio State, LSU. Michigan, LSU. Like it's a lot. I think you're showing a slight East Coast bias, kid. Now you're showing an East Coast bias. There are no really popular teams on the East Coast, which is why that narrative that you're saying is out there about college football. But everywhere else across the rest of the country, people care. It's just the New England states because they don't have any good teams. It's New York, it's Philly, it's Connecticut, it's those areas where college football in that thing.
Penn State,
so happens.
Penn State was that until the whole the sanctions
that happened with Paterno. Exactly.
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
Do not know.
Come on, I'm telling
you. But Penn State is still good though. Like they still make news. They still have big games, and it's nationally televised. On ESPN,
Notre Dame,
ABC.
Notre Dame is still Notre Dame too.
Notre Dame is still Notre Dame,
and was decent. So they got some pub there.
Like Foreign is saying in the chat, you have the Midwest with college football. They care about Indiana and they care about fucking Northwestern and those teams, and those teams aren't even relevant, and they have a following. So not to mention the big teams in the South and in the Midwest that are good, and on the West Coast too.
Yeah, SEC is king. So
you'll always have that baked in audience. It sounded to me like you guys were saying that there's going to be a influx of casual people caring and wanting to watch about NCAA football
because they're going to be more important. There are going to be more important games on TV in standalone time, and that's how you get the casual fan. Just like the NBA on Christmas Day, just like the NFL whenever they do anything because they top dog, or just like the Major League Baseball when they fucking play in the Field of Dreams, or hockey when they play outside. It's just college football is going to do the same thing this year when they have the 12-team playoff. There are going to be multiple big games that look exciting, and people are going to know these players. It's going to be talked about all week, and it's going to you're just going to see a rise in the popularity of the game.
People are not going to care about the regular season. The games are going to be big enough.
That's not true. I think they won't care about it this year. Yeah. They'll care about it in upcoming years.
Yes, shining moment. You'll get that because you'll get that one shining moment team. Somebody's going to be a darling media because they went through the playoffs that wasn't supposed to, and everybody's going to start checking for that team the next year. Mm-hmm. That's what's going to happen. You're going to get that one
like TCU,
team.
Like they did TCU. Remember TCU had their moment?
Boise State had a moment like that.
When was the last time y'all talked about TCU? Y'all ain't talked about TCU since Colorado fucked around and beat them.
I talked about the next year. That was the next year.
Right. That's what Shelton is saying, though. In Shelton's example, this team going to make a run.
TCU is still relevant. TCU is relevant.
Well, they're
today.
not, bro. Once they lost to Colorado, TCU was back in the dungeon, bro.
They were. I'll say the same thing about what's the team Washington, University of Washington. After Penix and them left, I don't think nobody's gonna care about them either.
No,
but I will.
But that's the thing. They're not a powerhouse though.
But I'm saying like this, like Lou is like. That's the great thing about what's happening with the expansion, that you're gonna get a who's who every single year, and that's what's gonna keep the casuals in it, because it's gonna be like, oh shit, my university hardly ever gets like the casual fans you're getting are not from, I think, people watching just on TV, like as they at a bar or whatever. I think it's from like the alumni whose their university that they went to, whether it was graduate or undergrad. they're going to be like, damn, my school never really gets that notice. And this is the one good year we have. And we're in the playoffs. Hell yeah, I'm going to watch it. And I'm going to try to see it next year. Like, there's so much. The alumni fan base to me is the built-in audience that hasn't really been tapped into yet outside of the Big Ten and the SEC and the West Coast schools. Like, when you're talking about those random ass teams like a University of Cincinnati or
anybody gonna check Cincinnati. I was about to say that.
First of all, we got two of the top players in the league right now in the NFL.
I was waiting on it to come.
So I'm just trying to say,
that's a really good point. That's a good point because people, just like with March Madness, as Sheldon said, that's a really good point because more people now get to pay attention to it. Like you have 64 teams, you get to fill out a bracket. You'll be able to do the same thing with college football now. They're gonna
when they do that
24.
When they do that, Spike.
When they do what? They will do that this year.
They don't care about the regular season, bro. That's what I'm saying.
In December, you're going to see these NCAA football brackets. They're going to be printed out, and people will be filling them out. That's going to happen.
And from September, October,
no. This is going to happen in November. Okay.
Yeah, you'll catch a few. Though. You're gonna catch a few.
Before you
watch, when we're on here later on, two years from now, you're gonna say, "Man, I love college football." It's gonna happen.
Yes,
it's going to happen.
I don't know how.
I'll say this before y'all move on, Luda. The one thing you mentioned is why I was like, I wanted it to be 8 and then stop at 12 if they got to 12, is because if they try to go to 24 and 36, whatever the fuck, I'm like, bro, what the fuck is we doing now? They're
going to look at March Madness. They're going to look at March Madness, bro, and they're going to do
16 is too like that's too much.
16 is too many. 16 is too many. But
I agree.
Eventually, they will get to 24 though. It's going to be 24 teams.
It's going to be 16.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
it will be. Yeah, they're going to expand to 16 within the next 10 years, and eventually, when we're all old men, they're going to be at 24. March Madness is too enticing. Because March Madness is too enticing.
But basketball is different than football, dog.
They will cut the regular season down. They'll go to 8 games, 9 games, whatever it may be. If you're telling me that I get a playoff game at home, but yes, teams are going to do that.
It's going to be less parity. It's going to be less parity.
What do you mean?
That's true.
Because if we have so many teams that's making it, right? And we're talking college football. It's only, bro, if we're talking 26 teams, already we have a top 25.
24.
Typically,
top 24.
In the top 25, 18 to 20 of them, we know who they're going to be for the most part.
Right.
Well, you get,
I would say it's going to always be the same team.
How is that different from college basketball, though? How is that different from college basketball?
It's the same thing.
Because Cinderella teams get weeded out by the time we get to the Sweet 16. Now, unless they have like an outlier year, but most of the time when we get to the Sweet 16, we see the same brands that we're familiar with.
But you would have the same thing in college football, though.
But with college football, it's like
what their appeal is going to be. I think their appeal is going to be home playoff games. When you get a Cinderella team and you get some team that you weren't expecting, and you got their fan base on campus, and it's 30,000 people there, and they got these little chants and shit like you see in the soccer stadiums, that's going to be the appeal to it.
Some of those
that's good TV. People are going to love to see that. And now every year they're going to tune in and see who's the number 24 team, who's the number 23 team, where they got to go to play at. How's that atmosphere?
Bruh,
that's going to happen.
Some of this is also built on the fact that some of these universities ain't built to have somebody's fan base come onto their campus. Because I'm sorry, Valdosta State, Kennesaw State ain't this what I'm talking about.
Well, they're going
to never make it. They're
going to be probably 16 teams come 2026.
It's going to be 16. It's going to be 16 teams, definitely within 10 years.
No, it's going to be by
2026, bro.
They're already on it. They've already decided they're going to 14 or 16 teams by 2026.
I can see that.
So it's already in the works. So they're gonna expand. That's not a question.
They're making them work for that money they paying, bro. That's why they gave them all that money.
This NIL money. Y'all want this NIL money? Pay 20 games. Y'all earn all these.
They discussed it. As a matter of fact, I can read this part to you. College football commissioners met on Wednesday and discussed the possibility of growing the college football playoff field to 14 or 16 teams that go into effect in 2026. They also broached the possibility of adding more automatic qualifier spots, all while acknowledging they got about a month to get it done. So they're already on it.
So what that tells me is whoever's running this is forecasting big money. Big money. That's the only reason why you would try to even expand that quick.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because college
Yes.
football there could be an argument based on what they're trying to do. College football probably can make more money than the NFL because you're dealing with
Yes.
universities who have alumni who are not only this like because with an NFL team, you're just dealing with usually just that city. That's it. That's the fan base. With universities, there's somebody from all over the place from that university, and you're also dealing with the hometown team or like the hometown city.
Yeah, you have
too. So it's like
you
you
got a bigger
double dipping.
marketplace. There's more than 32 teams. NFL only has 32 teams.
And universities
got-
are broadcasted and they're internationally, they have international ties too. So you can be talking about overseas, somebody who went to somewhere and they are now a fan of that because they went there.
And this is the reason, Spike, why I asked you, why did you say that you don't think college is going to compete with the NFL? I didn't get to say my point, but yeah, I think it's gonna. I think it could potentially surpass not the Super Bowl, but playoff and regular season games. I can see the playoffs, the NCAA playoffs, surpassing regular season football games and probably
That's not a bad point.
NFL playoff games.
That's not a bad point. Yeah, like as we
Super Bowl?
talk
Nah.
through it, you're right. Not the Super Bowl, but yeah, because just more people are going to be paying attention.
Because in college there's a national component and a local component. Go ahead, Ken.
No, you're good. So anyway, the whole 12 team, and then I guess in 2 years we're gonna have to redo this whole thing. So the way it break down is gonna be the 12 teams participating in the playoff would include the 5 highest ranked conference champions and the net 7 highest ranked teams, as determined by the CFB selection community. The top 4 conference champions will be seeded 1 through 4 and receive a first round bye. The 5th conference champion will be seeded based on its rankings, or at number 12 if ranked outside the top 12. Non-conference champions ranked in the top 4 will be seeded starting at 5. This means that seeding 1 through 12 may differ from the final rankings. Teams seeded number 5 through 12 will play in the first round, with higher seeds hosting lower seeds at designated locations. The bracket will stay the same throughout the playoff without reseeding. So,
Ken, that's another reason why it's going to be so big. Pause. ESPN gonna have 10 different shows explaining everything that you just said. They're gonna have their selection shows, they're gonna have breakdown shows, like they're gonna have 10 different shows about all of that shit you just said.
They're gonna do it. Think of like every college game day that's gonna be on ESPN, they're gonna explain this. Every game that they have, there's gonna be played so by the time we get to the end of the year, which is coming up quick, once we get to Thanksgiving, that's basically when all that shit is gonna be popping off. Everybody will know what's going on. And they'll probably even explain it again even during the games.
Like, I know FIFO, you love basketball, bro, but this ain't basketball. This is like football. Like, are we talking this much about football? Oh man, you ain't got to do too much more for America. We love football.
Yeah.
So all of this content that's about to come from these playoffs is going to be a very big deal.
Well, enjoy y'all games. What matchups are you guys looking forward to this Labor Day weekend? So we have Clemson at Georgia, Miami versus Florida, and Notre Dame versus Texas A&M. All of that's on Saturday. And we close out Sunday with USC versus LSU. And who y'all looking forward to see out on those teams? Since y'all love this game so much, who playing? Who the players?
I don't love this game so
Who the
much.
names?
What was the first
I'm
game
talking
you
to
said?
Spike. Spike, who are the names? Who the stars, bro?
Well, they're not playing it. This is week 0. They're not playing it. The big dogs don't start till next week. Who was that first team you said? Because I didn't realize they were playing. That's
Clemson and Georgia.
Clemson and Georgia. Week 0?
No.
Okay, well, Georgia.
That's gonna be the premier. Gotcha. That's the premier matchup out of all of them.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, August 31st.
Got it.
Yeah, the first weekend is Florida State and Georgia Tech.
Yeah, so you can skip that.
Yeah, Clemson and Georgia is huge because you got Carson Beck, who's a top-ranked quarterback of the top-ranked team. You know that guy, and then you have Cade Klubnik with Clemson. You're trying to see if Clemson can bounce back with Dabo. So that's going to be a big game to watch, and it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be, I think Georgia's going to win it. easily, but still, it's going to be a good game to watch.
Yeah, people want to see if Dabo fell off. That's
Yes.
going to be the big story.
Dabo has
right there.
fallen off.
That was a Dabo Ben fell off.
Yeah, he's
But
falling off,
people
but
want to
he
see the
has
nail in the people want to see the nail in the coffin
Yeah.
though. They want Georgia
Bro,
to go out there
that
and
shit is
whoop their
nailed,
ass.
bro. That shit is sealed. It's done.
If he can have a good season,
Dabo
bro,
had
even if he wins this game, he back. And that's the thing about college football. Like if he wins this game, and people are, oh, that
is he gonna win it though, Lou?
Nah, he's not. But if he do, Nick, he ain't gonna do it. But
Hey,
if he do,
he back on the map. But he definitely fell off still.
Yeah, he has a veteran quarterback though to draw from. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Klubnik, because he's supposed to be that guy. And he ain't showed up yet, so we'll see.
yeah, that's a big game week 1, kid. And then Florida versus Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's the one right there.
Florida
it's all
has
gold teeth and dreads, bro. All them gonna be watching that shit.
It's that but Kodak Blacks and Denzel Curry's in the stands.
It's gonna be a Zoe fest. Florida has the hardest schedule in college football this year, so it's going to be interesting to see.
Which
them
is
against
crazy because
Miami.
they're not even ranked, which is crazy.
They're not even ranked, and they have the hardest schedule, being the Texas and who else was added? Texas and whoever else was added to the SEC. They have the hardest schedule because they had to add them to the schedule. Oklahoma, yeah, exactly. So I would want to see that game to see how Florida plays. Go ahead.
I'm looking forward to the USC LSU game, mainly because, and we'll get to it probably maybe next week when we talk about quarterbacks. But Ken, I'm gonna say this now because I just want to say it and get out of the way early.
Uh-oh.
Lincoln Riley may be on watch.
I'm not mad at that.
He is
Lincoln Riley may be on watch, and we also need to start looking at the quarterbacks that Lincoln Riley produces and have a conversation about them. Obviously, I'm not trying to talk about Caleb because Caleb hasn't started yet. However, the quarterbacks that I'm talking about are, what is it? Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, and now we got Caleb.
What can you say?
I was just going to say, like, all of them are thriving. Other than Jalen Hurts being in the
thriving is a strong word.
It is a strong word. I said starting. They're starting quarterbacks.
Okay, you're right. I used the wrong word. Surviving. All of them are surviving, not thriving.
Jalen Hurts been to a Super Bowl. So
I mean, he's playing the wrong position. If they had him in running back, like Lincoln, like they would.
I'm about to say,
great.
So Nick Foles went to a Super Bowl. What we talking about?
And won it.
Nick Foles got a statue at that. So Jalen Hurts been to the Super Bowl. Kyler Murray got his contract.
Baker Mayfield got his contract.
So he winning it. You can't really.
Baker Mayfield went to the playoffs last year,
and Spencer Rattler's looking good. Even though
they talking about starting him, they talking about getting rid of Carr for him.
So Lincoln Riley is still that guy.
I'll say this: if your best quarterback is Jalen Hurts off of a mythological season, which is what we're looking at now, because he ain't been able to before that season and after that season, he ain't that nigga in the middle of that Super Bowl run. I'll say that before you say anything, Sheldon. And the other two compliments you said was, oh, well, this quarterback got paid. In the league where everybody getting paid, as far as if you were a quarterback, we just seen Jordan Love play 8 games. He got $200 million. I don't want to hear all that shit.
So Nick, you know what's funny about that is, why does Joe Burrow get so much props then? Because what has he done since then?
Joe Burrow has turned around the whole franchise. He's been to 2 AFC championships back to back, and he went to the AFC championship game that next year after that Super Bowl, and he just been hurt. But when we do our quarterback list, we really should just do instead of the top 10, it should be top 9. Because we already know who's number 1. But number 2, we should really do a top 8. We should do a top 8 because we also know who number 2 is.
Now, number 2 is not guaranteed, bro. That
number 2 is guaranteed. Number 2 is
because
guaranteed.
Lamar is at that level, if not better.
Don't spoil the list now. I'm just saying. Number 2 fluctuates.
I'm just saying, bro.
All right. Well, I guess y'all kind of bullshitted y'all way through that because y'all don't care about college football. Like y'all talking about it like it's gonna be some shit. So
I'm gonna watch all of those games, Ken. I'm watching all of those games. Stop it.
Can I go hold you? I ain't watching this weekend, but I'm watching next weekend.
Watch this weekend, man. Florida State gonna get.
I'm gonna watch a little bit of the Florida State game.
Bro, I am not trying to.
They're supposed to be good, and I play with them on the college, so that speaks to that.
Bro, I'm not.
They playing Georgia Tech, right?
Georgia Tech.
Aren't they still running the wishbone?
No,
I don't know if they're still running it.
Nah, Georgia Tech not.
Yeah, they got a new quarterback. They got a white dude quarterback now, so I don't think he's capable.
No.
Yeah, they stopped that.
I'm not trying to see
how long they kept that shit going on though.
I'm not trying to see Emory University versus Georgia State University. Those are the kind of matchups you get this weekend. I'm sorry.
Don't do Florida State like that, bro.
Man.
All right, man. Let's jump to some other news. Let's just jump to what y'all really care about. NFL offseason news is still happening. We're in preseason, so what we have now, we have the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons have added pass rusher Matthew Judon from New England and safety Justin Simmons to their defense. Are the Falcons a lock for the playoffs with all of their offseason moves?
I would think, it's tough to say lock, but they're going all in. They're putting, this is closer to all in than what Jerry Jones is talking about for sure, because that Judon move, you brought in a leader, you brought in a player, you brought in somebody strong. Justin Simmons, I'm surprised he lasted on the board that long to go to that team. He showed up a defense at the two worst spots on that team. They didn't have a pass rush, and that secondary is now the strength of that team. So the Falcons look good, and I'm hearing rave reviews on Kirk Cousins and what he's doing for Kitts. He's bringing that man to life. He's talking about how to get him the ball better. So you may see some things out of the Falcons. They should be primed to take that next step. We'll see.
Yeah, Shelton, I 100% agree with you. And everybody that was hating on the Penix move, look at what just happened to J.J. McCarthy. Look at what happened to there's another quarterback that just got hurt, right? We saw last year, again, 60 different starting quarterbacks, 60 plus different starting quarterbacks last season. So what the Falcons have done, and, he knows who I'm talking about right now, saying that wasn't a good move. It is a good move because they were still able to shore up the team with free agents and through trades. It wasn't just through the draft. So I love what the Falcons have done, Ken. I think the Falcons definitely are a lock, in my opinion, in the South because they're definitely better than Carolina. They're better than the Saints. And the Bucks, it feels like, they're pretty much stitched together. It doesn't feel like they have the same amount of talent that the Falcons have on both sides of the field. So to me, I think the Falcons should be the favorite to win that division, and they should be a lock for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Lou.
They should get in. The only reason that this is correct is because that's a weak division. I think that's still maybe a couple of years away from being really competitive. So they'll go to the playoffs and they'll lose in the first round. Congratulations, Atlanta. But this isn't. They've made decent offseason moves with like everything decent. That you guys are saying was decent.
Oh, you just been using the wrong word all night.
You think these are great moves?
Amazing.
With a first round. This is the first round. This is still a first round playoff exit. Unless y'all are telling me that Kirk Cousins has changed his quarterback. He's going to have a great regular season, and then we see what he does in the playoffs. They'll be playing a team that's better than them because they're going to be the worst of the 4 division winners in the playoffs. And when they're playing a team that's better than them in that 4-5 matchup, they're going to lose in the first round again. Like this is the Falcons' history. Like I don't understand what the success thing is here.
We have a new head coach.
Raheem Morris.
The Falcons have a brand new head coach, and they have a defense that hasn't been this good since the Dirty Bird years.
On paper, we don't even know if the defense is good. First of all,
it's beyond.
We don't even know if Simmons.
Because Spike, there's certain things that we know. Jesse Bates is the best safety in the league. AJ Terrell is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Matthew Judon in the last 3 years has over 30 sacks, bro.
Yes.
So even if he has a slight letdown, that's still better than anything that the Falcons have had. In addition to those 3 players that I just mentioned, they went and got another top 3, top 5 safety, top 10 safety in the league. So now they are solidified not only offensively, because we know that Kyle Pitts has a whole bunch of talent that just has not been unlocked because of the quarterback play. Right? We've seen that because he had a pretty good to decent rookie year when the end of Matt Ryan. Then it was a cluster mess up over there at the quarterback position. He struggled. Drake London should uptick. And we saw what Bijan, we know Bijan's going to be a beast. We all had him in the top 5. So we know that he should be, let's be honest, with the decline of Derrick Henry only because of age. He's still a beast. He's still deserving of a top 3. But this is a year Bijan could be number 2.
All of that's correct. I don't agree with you with any of that. I'm asking you, when we come to the first weekend of the playoffs, and they're the number 4 seed, and the number 5 seed is the Rams, and Sean McVay been cooking all season, and Matthew Stafford been cooking all season, are you going to feel comfortable taking the Falcons over them? Because they're not going to be one of the top 3 seats. They're not going to be better than Philadelphia. They're not going to be better than Philly. They're not going to be better than San Francisco. They're not going to be better than Philly. They're not going to be better than San Francisco. They're not going to be better than whoever win the NFC North. That's not going to happen.
Spike, what you're saying first, the first point that you made is that the Falcons aren't going to be a top 3 seed. It's very possible because they have a very weak schedule with a very stacked roster.
Who they going to be better than?
Now here's the thing.
Tell me who they going to be better than.
Hold on. Now the thing that I will concede to you, we have not seen them play. So I don't know what their identity is. Based off of their head coach and what we've seen in the past, they should be walking with a big stick. That's what they should be doing.
Pause.
Because I wasn't gonna pause that one because we don't have to think about that because everybody should know the same.
I'm just saying this is for Spikes. This is for Spikes.
They should know the same. This is not. It is what it is. So
I was thinking
that whole Falcons squad should be walking out with their chest poked out.
Why though? That's what I'm saying. Why?
What do you mean?
Who are they poking their chest out against in the NFC, bro? You're not. I'm not talking about the NFC South. I'm talking about the other teams. I'm talking about the NFC.
Look, here's the thing.
You guys are correct. They are a playoff team.
I'm not arguing that point. They could beat them Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys not even gonna sniff the playoffs.
I said the
they
Eagles.
could beat anybody in the NFC East.
That's what I'm saying.
NFC East,
That's
they could
fair.
beat them boys. Okay.
Now, I don't think they can beat the Eagles. They can't. I think they can't. If the Eagles go out and have a good season, there's no way that they should be able to beat them, especially with the roster that the Eagles have.
Wherever there's smoke, there's
they're a
fire.
better team.
Nick Sirianni,
the Eagles are a better
Hurts
team
ain't
than
on the same page.
FIFO. Right now, the Eagles are a better team than the Falcons. You would agree with that, right?
You have to. You have to. What was you about to say? I was about to say. This is all I'm saying is that I agree. I think we're all in agreement that they are a lock for a playoff team, a playoff spot.
Should be. It is.
I think it's a lock because you don't make all these moves and not have it be a lock. Now I say all that to say, my thing is this puts more pressure on Raheem Morris. People, you brought him up, so I want to talk about it. This is the coaches episode. We got to talk about him. Because of that, if there is a chance they don't make the playoffs after all the shit that he did with the draft and with all these additions on defense, he out of there after 1 year.
Because they were supposed to hire Bill Belichick. That was a coaching hire.
If they go 8-9 and miss the playoffs, because I think if they go 9-8, they should win the division because it's cheeks. But if they go 8-9 and the Bucks somehow win this division again, or somehow, some way the Saints turn up and become a team that we didn't think was going to happen,
not going to happen.
I'm just saying, regardless of how it play out, if the Falcons do not start the postseason, like if they're not in the postseason talks and starting in a top 4 game with them being a top 4 seed, I'm sorry, but Raheem Morris got to be fired. Not to say that I want him. Not that I say that. Not that I say that I. Not that I say that. No. Listen. Hold on. Listen. Not after. This is not me saying I want him to be fired. I think he should not be. But with him doing the shit he pulled in the draft, or picking Penix while you paying Kirk Cousins all this money,
that's the GM.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But we saw on draft night, the GM had to come talk to. So the owner came up to him and said, "What the fuck you doing?" And he's saying he's pushing all his chips on this season, saying, "Look, trust me, you're gonna have the best season that you ever had with Atlanta since the Super Bowl." That's what he's saying.
I don't think that's
a lot
true,
of things need to be addressed here. You talked about Spike Belichick. The reason why Belichick does not have a job right now is because we see what the dang New England Patriots are right now. We saw that for years he could not draft, right? Because once you gave him power over the personnel, what have they drafted? They haven't drafted anything outside of solid defense.
Real quick. You wouldn't hire him if you told him that I'm taking care of the personnel, you take care of the coach?
The issue is not with me telling him that. The issue is with him accepting that.
So you think the reason he doesn't have a you think he doesn't have a job because he wouldn't accept that? He 100%. Wouldn't just go coach?
100%.
I agree with that.
He's Bill Belichick.
I don't know. Yeah, you may be right.
Who wouldn't want him? Because here's the thing. It's not like he forgot how to coach. It's you got too big for your own bridges. You thought you could go put a defensive coordinator at offensive coordinator. Who the hell thought that was a damn good idea?
Yeah,
Who thought that? With a young quarterback, it's not like, okay, it's Tom Brady. We ain't like nobody we interview. We'll just do this for a year. It's Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the OC anyway, right? You didn't have that situation. You had Macaroni Jones, and now you shipped them off. You know what I'm saying? So what Bill Belichick just got too big for his bridges, bro. That's the reason why he don't have a job, and he's not willing to downgrade the player personnel aspect. Now, Nick, what you were saying, I don't see how there's another team in the NFC South that competes, and I also, bro,
the Bucks went to the playoffs last year, FIFA.
But they barely went to the playoffs. It didn't
because everybody else sucked. Everybody else sucked.
Well, I will say this. Now, granted, there is the quarterback aspect that you have to take into account. So I'm saying this as a very loose comparison. But we did see the Miami Dolphins have like a damn near 4-game lead with that division, and they have a better roster than the Buffalo Bills. But somehow, some way, the Bills won that division, and even granted, again, they got Josh Allen. I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is Josh Allen. I mean, or Baker Mayfield's Josh Allen. All I'm saying is that you don't know what's going to happen in football. And if Kirk Cousins, he's coming off a major injury, and he old as shit, and he wasn't a mobile quarterback at that. If he gets hurt again, knock on wood, and they have to start Penix, which isn't really a bad thing because you want to see what Penix does, but he's still a rookie QB. I don't trust him to take that team to the playoffs in his first season as a rookie. I just want to see if he can play the position.
So I don't know if you saw any of the preseason games. My thing is this. Obviously, there's something to be said about experience, especially at the quarterback position. It's the most invaluable thing that any quarterback can have. And the only way that you get it is by playing. Penix doesn't have any. But I know what I saw. I know what my eyes told me, and I said it in the damn chat. There's more juice in that left arm of Michael Penix than Kirk Cousins has in his entire body. We saw when he let the ball go, it was like, oh, he got velocity. Oh, he got touch. Oh, he got those things that when I talk about a young player that flash, but you don't have it figured out. You're a rookie. But can you show me like, oh, shit, that look better than that? It look better than what you already bought. You bought an old Ferrari, you know what I'm saying? And you bought a new Ferrari. And all I'm saying is if you got to let the new Ferrari go out there and go, you might slide the rear end a little bit, but you're going to be all right. It's
Kirk Cousins. That don't speak to
Kirk Cousins ain't no Ferrari. Kirk Cousins ain't he more of a Toyota Tundra, if anything.
But no, that I think that speaks to your point though, FIFO, as far as thinking the Falcons could go further in the playoffs in the first round. If this happens to be the case, what you're talking about with Michael Penix, I'm not betting on them to win a first round playoff matchup with a rookie quarterback. I can't depend on Kirk Cousins being there, like you said, because he is coming off an injury and he's old. So all of the talent, all of the defensive move that they had, even with the coaching upgrade, like it's still first round of the playoff exit. That's a successful season for them. It's nothing beyond that. And that's what the Falcons always do anyway. So what are we talking about when we say, is this a good thing for the Falcons?
And my thing with the Raheem Morris thing is more about Now, if Kirk Cousins gets hurt, I guess they will give him grace and coach again. But what I'm saying is like it's not asinine for us to think that a black head coach can get fired after 1 year because we've seen it plenty of times actually.
I don't think they'll do it. I don't think that. They wouldn't do it, Nick, because they passed up on Bill Belichick for him. So they're gonna give him time to cook.
Well, for me, I'm saying like
Bill Belichick had that job. From all sources say that he had that job. It's just the people in the office didn't fuck with him. They didn't like his aura. They didn't like none of that.
But Lou, can you honestly tell me if Raheem Morris if Kirk Cousins is healthy all season and they still don't make the playoffs with this roster and all the moves they make and with the thing, you don't think that there's a conversation where he's like Raheem Morris maybe on the hot seat?
Maybe
Nick,
a 1% chance.
The only way you have those type conversations is not the wins and losses, but the way they look when they perform. So he has no control over what Kirk Cousins is. The only thing he can do is put the best product on the field that he can. If they look like they're fighting and they're playing hard, he ain't going nowhere. If he loses this team, he's not getting rid of nobody quick.
Arthur Blank like 100 years old, bro. He ain't invested like that on a year-to-year basis. He gonna let the shit ride at least for 2 years. Now I do agree with you, Nick. There may be a quick trigger, but I don't think it comes after 1 year. Because you're going to look really bad as an organization if you passed 100%. Up on Bill Belichick and you passed up on Mike Vrabel to hire this dude who you only gave 1 year to, and you didn't vet him well enough to see that the team was going to fly off the rails in 1 year and you had to fire him. Right. They'll look really bad if they fire him.
And you know what's bigger than that?
There were really good coaching options out here this year for you to hire.
You know what's bigger than that too, Nick? The fact that you didn't hitch your wagon to Kirk Cousins. Your future is in is on the bench. So Raheem Morris is tied to Michael Penix. So until we see Michael Penix as the starting quarterback, Raheem Morris is safe.
Well, to me, that even brings up another aspect because Raheem Morris is a defensive coordinator. And these days, if you look at all the top quarterbacks in the league, for the most part, they got an OC as the head coach or somebody who at least on the offensive side. So if you could say like, hey, Lincoln Riley, you ain't doing shit in California. We'll pay you some bread to come over here to Atlanta, coach up Michael Penix, since you the quarterback whisperer, quote unquote.
And I want to address something that Devontae said. He said it was weird that they didn't play him more in the preseason. He's regards to Penix. They didn't play him because this is what I'm just seeing is that they're saying that Kirk Cousins isn't necessarily 100%, and they don't know if he's going to be able to go week 1 like that. So there's no reason to put Penix behind live bullets and get him hurt before week 1. Once they saw the flashes that everybody saw, it's like, oh, okay, bet you are as advertised. Let's not put you in harm's way because we don't 100% know if Kirk is going to start week 1. So if he doesn't, they want Penix as fresh as possible.
Well, they're off to a bad start already.
If I were the Falcons and this nigga wasn't ready to go week 1, I would be pissed. I just spent all that
because these are all Raheem Morris's moves.
Well, the Falcon fans they won't be pissed, and they're not pissed. Some of them are fairly optimistic. But anyway, week 2 of the preseason is done. But were there any standouts performances that any of you guys want to shout out?
Bo Nix. Bo Nix looked like a world beater in Denver.
Okay, here we go.
I'm telling you, that may be if we do breakout players of the year, that may be my guy. Bo Nix look good. The dude from Detroit, Herndon from Tennessee. Yeah. The dude that got hurt. Is that his name? What's his name? Hooker. He looked good as well. Like playing for Detroit, he looked really good. As far as that could be some trade bait for them, or even getting Goff up out of there and having him start.
Nah, they just paid Goff.
They just paid Goff. They're not getting nobody here.
If I get this nigga to do what Goff can do for cheaper, man, hey, I'll holler at you, bro.
Hey, Luke, crazy.
Whoever willing to take you, I don't care. Like, get out of here.
They just re-signed him this offseason, wasn't it?
They trying to get rid of him already, bro.
This year.
It's preseason, Lou.
Don't let the preseason fool you. That's what I was about to say.
That's how little I think of Jared Goff. I think, dude, he was in there cooking enough. Like I would consider it if I were in the front office of Detroit.
My thing is, I gave one compliment to Bo Nix. Now niggas is all just running with it and saying like, oh, Bo Nix quarterback room is Zach Wilson and Jared Stidham or somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
He better start. He better look like something because they used the top 12 pick on his goofy ass, and he about 36 anyway, so he should know.
I was going to say, and he old. Like he started more college football games than any other quarterback ever. So he should have experience and be ready to go day one. That shouldn't be a stretch. Yeah, that shouldn't be a stretch that he ready to go day one.
I'll give you a couple standouts, but not in the way you probably think. We're gonna talk about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones looks.
That ain't standout. That ain't standout.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's the opposite of standout.
He's standing out, not in the way.
Hey, Shelton, I gotta. With that being said, next season, because I don't think this team is gonna re-sign him. Next season, you might see me having a number 4 Dak Prescott New York Giants jersey.
Hey,
take him, please. He works perfect in New York. Because y'all can have him.
I think we're getting to that desperation point where it's like, all right, nigga, we wasted money on this guy. We can at least spend some money on a guy who's going to at least get us to the playoffs.
Right.
As long as I got the Dion Sanders Dallas jersey on when Dak leaves, we good.
You're gonna have that Trey Lance.
As long as that's happening. No, we got that Dion Sanders on, baby.
Let
me ask you this:
down.
Would you be mad if they fired Dable if they had a bad year this year?
I wouldn't. I would be upset. I would say I would disagree with it, but I would understand it because it's a "what have you done for me lately" league, and it's New York, so it's like, and he was supposed to fix.
So you think he should be able to keep his job?
I think he should.
They have a terrible because let's say he win 3 games this year, he should be able to come back next year.
He should because he.
I agree with that.
In my opinion, he should, but I wouldn't be surprised if. I don't think the Giants brass will do that because they've been going through so many coaches, and he's the only one that's won a playoff game in recent memory since Tom Coughlin. So it's just kind of like.
Here's the thing: I don't think that Dayball's coaching hitch is tied to Daniel Jones. It's tied to
real quick before you get into it. Do you think that he's on the hot seat though?
No, because even if they have a bad season, they're going to pick a quarterback early in the draft this upcoming season. That's who Dayball is going to be. That's who he's going to hitch his trailer to. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with the Giants not letting him go because we know that the only reason why they're even viable is because of Dayball.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. You know,
he had Tyrod Taylor. He had Tyrod Taylor and DeVito playing well.
DeVito.
There's been talk out there that he is on the hot seat, so I just want to know what you guys think. But I agree with you. I don't think they're like if the Giants are a smart organization, there's no way that I'm going to tie Dable's success to Jones. Like you can leave, pick a good quarterback, but if he don't work, then we're talking about something
100%. else. So he has 2 seasons after this season if they draft a quarterback. For me, I'm okay even if they let Dable go because he's gonna get a job the next day. Yeah, the next
Dallas.
Day.
In Dallas.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll be the next day. I think he'll go back to being OC.
The crazy thing, I think he'll get a job right away. But the crazy thing is,
y'all would hire him before you hire Vrabel.
Yes,
Vrabel.
I would.
You would hire him before Vrabel?
If I had a young quarterback,
if I had a young QB, I would.
If I have a veteran quarterback, I'll take Vrabel.
Who else you had on your list, Shelton?
I was going to talk about Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy has looked unstable, but part of that could be the fact that Trent Williams is not in camp, nor is Brandon Ayuk. But he's really looked shaky with some of his decisions. He's been throwing the ball with his eyes closed. It's preseason, so we really can't count it. But at the same time,
but you are counting it.
Ken, they hating on Glock already. Ken, they hating on Glock already.
He didn't have his starting receivers out there, nor did he have Kyle Shannon out there coaching.
The ball with his eyes closed. You got a literal running back at QB for your team, and you talking about somebody else throwing the ball.
But they are talking shit about Purdy, so we'll see how that goes when it's.
I would say that my nigga, he threw with his eyes closed in the playoffs. So that's him getting the floor.
Him and Jordan Love do that shit. Jordan Love be doing that shit too.
Jordan Love was good in the preseason though. But I'll say one of y'all favorite teams. I was watching their game. I don't know if you want to call it a game. It was Pittsburgh versus was it Buffalo? It was 9-3. Hey, bro,
what's going on in Pittsburgh is scary.
We about to have a conversation about Pittsburgh real soon.
Man, I saw somewhere they were showing those tackles, the offensive tackles. Once again, if your line ain't blocking for you, ain't much you can do. We put a lot of pressure on
Anybody trying to hear that right now?
Yeah, I was going to say, Sheldon, that ship is sailed though, bro. I brought in 2 quarterbacks who are athletic and they mobile. Y'all got to figure something out. Like you can't tell me the tackles ain't blocking, bro.
They were.
But that's not an excuse though. If you Russell Wilson, bro, you've been in the league for this many years. Like, get the fucking ball out quicker. Then he's had this problem his whole career with taking too many sacks, and that's a quarterback thing, not an offensive line thing. Is like many people like to believe. That's a quarterback thing. Make the read, throw the ball, throw it out of bounds.
Well, I would say this though. I was a Russell Wilson defender. Watching that preseason game, bro. How you get 3 sacks in the preseason, bro?
In a preseason,
this is supposed
to be like I'm going 3 for 3. I'm gonna sit back down.
He's been hurt though, right?
Yeah,
but
your offensive line is saying Ole. They just letting them walk to the quarterback. So
well, my thing is this though. It's more about what's to come, because the reason why I'm like I don't show no mercy about the no offensive line thing, because shit, nigga, in that same division up in the tri-state area in Cincinnati, Ohio, we seen a nigga go far without an offensive line, so we ain't trying to hear all that shit. And second of all, y'all ain't won a playoff game since I think Obama was in office. This does not.
Let me ask you a question,
I'm
Nick.
talking about Ken in Black America, because he got family that was Pittsburgh and shit.
If Burrow was behind that same offensive line, do you think he would have the same success he had in Cincinnati?
I already seen it. So yeah, I already seen that happen.
If Russell Wilson was behind that same offensive line in Cincinnati, do you think he would have the same success? The one that Burrow had that went to the Super Bowl?
No.
Probably.
I don't think so.
The problem though, Lou, is
line your ass off.
That shit over. Bro, that shit over for Russell Wilson. That bullshit that he was pulling off in Seattle. Like, we was like, damn, how they win 16-9 in this weird ass game where they scored on the left. All of that bullshit is over. And he think it's still going to fly, and it doesn't. He need to listen to a coach. I'm starting to believe what Sean Payton was saying.
No,
like,
don't do that. We ain't going that
I'm
far.
starting to believe that because Pete Carroll said it and got rid of him, and now Sean Payton said it and got rid of him. No. Now we see him in Pittsburgh, and I dare let him degrade the name of Mike Tomlin, the great black head coach that I love. I'm not gonna let Russell Wilson deter that. Like, it seems like it's a Russell Wilson problem versus anything else.
To me, I'm not going that far with the Sean Payton shit, because to Ken's point, this is his first game coming back from injury, so that's the grace period that he's getting. The reason why I was calling out the sacks is because nigga, it's preseason. Just throw the ball in the ground. You don't have to take the hit
away,
like,
bro.
Like nigga, it's like, and because then that doesn't help you when everybody's saying that you keep taking sacks. Him and Justin Fields are the 2 quarterbacks with the highest sack rate, I think, over the last couple seasons or something like that. Like, it's like, you guys are not helping yourself. And Justin Fields didn't help himself. He was supposed to close the door on this competition. He over here missing wide open touchdown throws and fumbling still. It's just like, bro, the QB room in Pittsburgh looked like a ball of shit.
It didn't upgrade, huh? So they went from Pickett to pile of shit, maybe. I guess we'll see.
And people try to go hard on me again for talking that shit about Justin Fields. He was supposed to be able to win this job over these however many weeks, and he hadn't been able to do so.
Well, we know this. He definitely closed the door in training camp and all of that. He missed locking the door in actual game situations. The fumbles, the missing of he really could have solidified the starting job. Can my standout? I'm gonna just go one. I'm gonna keep it real quick. Caleb Williams. He is as advertised. He made plays. What you?
I ain't say that, bro. Go ahead with your soliloquy.
he made plays, the off script plays. Obviously he still looks like a rookie at times, but what he does and how he moves and the type of ball that he could throw, man, he looks special. And it looks like the Bears, what CJ Stroud is in year 2 is what the Bears have done for Caleb in year 1. You know what I'm saying? And I think that NFC North is going to be a tight race.
That's a very aspirational accusation to say that they doing.
It's
right
a
now.
goofball thing. You was trying to be nice with people.
I was trying to find a good way to say it.
It's a
Nah, he's
goofball
saying-
They
thing.
went to the playoff. Evo, they
he's
went to the
saying-
playoffs. Like, how are you saying that right now for Caleb Williams? Like, what?
No,
how
he's saying
is
he's
it
saying the
happening?
weapons that they've added, right, people?
No, he's saying
Yes.
no. What people is
No.
also including in that, which I don't think he understands, is that to lose point, we don't even know if Caleb Williams can take a team to the playoffs with all the
What I
weapons
know,
that he-
what I know
No.
is is that a worse team last year with a worse quarterback. With how many games they won? 9 games.
They won 7 games last year.
7 games. So I
Yes.
think with the addition of the weapons, the running back, the wide receiver, and the drafting of a wide receiver, and now they have the best quarterback that they've ever had. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
we don't know.
The
We don't
Bears-
know that yet. We don't know that yet.
Shit, we know that. We know that. We talk about the Bears, bruh. We are talking about the Bears. He better than Rex Grossman. He better than
Right now,
who's the dude
right
that
now,
came
he's better
from
than Ray Scruggs.
right today. He better than Rex Grossman.
He ain't even- I'll say right now, he ain't better than Jay Cutler right now.
What about Jim McMahon?
Yes!
He's
Jim
not
He's
McMahon,
better
Jay
than Jay
Cutler.
Cutler.
He's not better than Jay
definitely
Cutler,
better
right?
than Jay Cutler.
No, he's
Jay
not.
Cutler.
Jay
Cutler
Cutler
was
took him to the
smoking
NFC.
cigarettes on the sideline, bro.
Jay
What is
Cutler-
we talking about?
Jay Cutler took him
Jay
to the
Cutler
NFC
was really
championship.
good, people.
He took
That
him to the
really
defense
good.
and Lovie Smith took him to the NFC Championship, and Devin Hester
no,
that's
took him
Rex
to the
Grossman.
NFC
Because we seen,
Championship.
because we
That's
seen
Rex
what
Grossman.
because
Jay
we-
Cutler did it. He got hurt though.
We
Okay,
seen
look.
we seen literally the Denver Broncos trade the Bears. They just switched the quarterbacks. It was Kyle Orton and Jay Cutler, and we seen what happened since right after that. When the Bears started with, now Jay Cutler was an asshole, and I don't give a fuck about him. So this is the only praise you're gonna hear me.
Yeah.
from. But he took them to the NFC title game. That's all I'll say.
Okay, and I feel all that. All I'm saying is a team with less talent last year won 7 games with the 2 wide receivers they added, plus the running back, plus a quarterback that looks as advertised. I am saying that they are going to win a couple of games against some of the top tier teams in that division. They should win a game against Green Bay. They can and should win a game against Detroit. After that, it's whoever has a better strong to the finish. What I'm saying is that they are going to be able to compete. Now, I'm not picking them to win the NFC North because I do agree he is a rookie quarterback. There are going to be teams that are going to be able to scramble his, you know what I'm saying, his vision, his brain, his moxie, everything that makes him who he is. He'll come back next week and be better because that's what the great ones do. But at the end of the day, they are going to be a competitive football team.
Bro, he was. I'll say this. Obviously, they played the Bengals, so I watched that game. We only had about 2 niggas on second string on that throughout that whole defense. We locked that nigga up most of the first half, and then we let the 3s and 4s in. That's when he started going off. All I'm saying is this: you hyping about Caleb Williams over a preseason game against 3s and 4s.
What I'm
So
saying
I'll say wait till the regular season start. Let's get at least 4 games on this belt
Let
before
me
we
ask
start
y'all
saying this nigga's as
and just
advertised.
answer yes or no. Did he show flashes?
Yes.
That's all I need. That's all I need. That's all I. Why you snickering?
If I
Brian?
if I wanted to see some flashes, I'll go on Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras. That's the flashes I'll see, nigga.
That's funny.
I just can't believe y'all in here hyping up Jay Cutler. That's a first.
That's wild.
Don't do that. Y'all don't do that, man. Jay Cutler was good.
We are.
I'm saying. First of all, kid, the bar for Bears QBs is at hell. If we talk about Rex Grossman,
Like you talking about Jim McMahon, Rex Grossman,
Jay Cutler, Caleb better than all of them.
Kyle Orton. Like, that may be the worst franchise for quarterbacks in the history of the NFL.
They don't.
Yes.
Their leading receiver for their franchise only has like 6,000 yards received. Like it's like he's like this team.
It ain't.
this
They've
franchise-
never had a franchise QB. They've never like in the history
Yeah.
of the Bears. Like it's never happened.
We'll see if Caleb is there, but I'm not. I'm not
I
sold.
don't know. Yeah,
I'm not sold until I see it.
Yeah, I
He'll
gotta
be
see
fine.
it.
He'll be fine.
I gotta see it.
All right. Well, let's get into these coaches. Our top 10 coaches heading into the NFL season.
Why you always about to say? Don't start with me. Because I hit Jalen on the side, bro. I said this is the golden ticket that I got.
Oh, they starting with me. Oh shit.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah, the producer is
Hold
picked.
on, hold on. Before you go,
Jesus.
Spike, Jalen, I need to know if
Jesus.
there's a particular order that you go. Is this like the worst one, the
Holy
first one?
shit.
Is that how you pick these? I need to know.
I think Jalen's just
goes-
fucking with me.
That mean
Oh,
Nick
yeah.
need to go twice.
I think Jalen, as a producer for content of the show, whoever got the craziest list goes last. I think that's what happens. So now I'm saying that to excuse myself from going
Right,
first.
because you went
So
last. You went last time, last week.
I have the most reasonable list, and I think that's why I'm going first this time.
This
All
list
right.
is terrible already.
Yeah, it is.
I'll start at number 10 with Doug Peterson. He is, the Eagles fired him unjustly after he went to the Super Bowl. Who's a shit franchise, found a good head coach. Still doing this thing in Jacksonville. Sean Payton, number 9. I think him and Bo Nix are going to make waves this year. Jim Harbaugh, yes, this is his first season back. However, he's proven himself in the NFL with the 49ers. I don't want to hear your wild, Shelton. It doesn't matter. John Harbaugh, Baltimore Ravens coach. He has one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Sean McVay.
You have Sean McVay outside the top.
Yes,
that's wild.
They had a terrible. That's number 6. They had a terrible team last year. He took them to the playoffs. I'm giving him credit for that. Number 5, Mike McDaniel. He is making great to do with everything that he has in Miami. Tua not being, I don't think, an upper echelon quarterback, but he is putting him in the right position to make plays. D'Amico Ryans, I'm hearing great things about the Texans. We've seen what they did last year. Kyle Shanahan, number 3, got to win a Super Bowl. Andrew Reid, number 2. And Nick as number 1, the doppelganger for him.
I can't stand y'all.
Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is the picture of consistency. Like, you can't ask for a better head coach. If he were any other nationality,
you could. That's number 2.
if he were any other nationality other than black, they would be praising him as the best coach ever to walk the face of the earth. They'd be making movies about Mike Tomlin because he's never had a losing season, always goes to the playoffs, Mr. Consistency and Black Power. Give me Mike Tomlin.
Your top 5 has only one coach who's won a Super Bowl.
What does that mean?
You got Mike Tomlin. You got 2. Okay, so you got.
Let me ask you, how many coaches in the league have won a Super Bowl?
No, I'm just saying, like, you have D'Amico Ryans over Sean McVay.
Yes.
I love D'Amico, but I don't.
You got Mike McDaniels over Sean McVay.
Yes.
You got Mike Tomlin over Andy Reid.
Yes, nigga. Yes.
They might do that.
This is the perfect list.
Shelton, he said Mike Tomlin is the best head coach. You couldn't ask for more. I'm like, well, how about a Super Bowl?
right.
How about 2 of them? Andy Reid.
Mike Tomlin been to several Super Bowls, Nick. Thank you.
Andy Reid is right underneath him, and he got. Oh my gosh! All right, take this list off.
Yeah,
it's the best list, Jalen. Thank you for putting me first, man, so I can get that out of the way. That was the best
we
list.
needed you to get that out of the way.
All right. At number 10, give me Kevin O'Connell. What he's done with the Vikings is
What?
Hey, look at what he's done with the Vikings. That offense is humming. Even with all of the quarterback situations that they had last year, we all questioned J.J. McCarthy, and we saw like he flashed as well. Zach Taylor, for obvious reasons, one of the best offensive rosters. I know I've given him a lot of flack, but at the end of the day, they have been consistent when healthy. Kevin Stefanski, what we've seen with that offense and what he's been able to overcome.
You copied and pasted this from CBS.com. That's not a real list, bro.
This is a real list. Dan Campbell at number 7. We seen what Dan was able to do. I've been talking about Dan Campbell and how he was turning around the Detroit Lions before they were a Cinderella story last year. So everybody on the panel, I don't like the rah-rah guy. Well, the rah-rah guy made top 10 on my list. Mike Tomlin at number 6. Nick, I'm 100% with you.
6?
Yes, at number 6. He's right outside the top 5.
He
is an amazing career coach, Spike. But what has Mike Tomlin done for us lately? And now we have to start to question some of the decisions that have been made the same way we have with Belichick. So he might be on his way out. Let me get to my top 5. All right, Mike McDaniel, definitely top 5 coach in the league. He took, I agree with you, Spike, an average to slightly above average quarterback and made him the highest passer in the league last season. Matt LaFleur definitely flourished with Jordan Love, and we saw them go all the way to an NFC title game. Kyle Shanahan, if he's not in your top 3, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, what you talking about. We're not talking about the right coaches. Sean McVay at number 2. Arguably, look, and for me, it was splitting hairs between Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay, but Sean McVay has the better overall record, and they were both hired in the same year. So, and he also has a better head-to-head record. So that's why I put Sean McVay at number 2. Andy Reid. I don't think there should be anybody rated higher than Andy Reid right now in the league.
Real quick, before we move on, not too long, why wouldn't DeMeco Ryans be on your list?
He's number 11 for me.
Okay.
He's only done it 1 year. Everybody else has been here 2 or more.
He said LaFleur flourished.
Yeah, see, I heard that, kid. That shook my head. That was the worst thing about his list.
Matt LaFleur, hey, bro, he balled.
Yeah.
When he opened up that playbook for Jordan Love, we saw what they did.
Having Tomlin at 6 is criminal to black culture.
Mm.
Like,
Hey,
that's
and he got
criminal.
Lou, you ain't gonna like my list,
more.
boy. You ain't gonna like my
God.
list.
All right, let me get y'all started real quick with a real list.
Oh.
With a real.
Oh,
Get this
my
off the screen right now, bro. Nick said,
at
"Hey,
10,
stop, bro. Stop."
At 10, I got
Jalen,
Nick.
Jalen, cut his mic off. Cut his mic off, Jalen.
I got
Jalen, cut his
Wait,
mic off, bro.
hold on.
Cut
Shelton,
his
before
mic
you
off,
even
Jalen.
go,
Cut his mic
before
off,
you even
Jalen.
go, wasn't Shelton talking about how the coaching and not calling of the correct routes was hurting Jalen Hurts?
That's
Absolutely.
crazy.
Didn't he say that? But then he's gonna
Absolutely.
put him top
You
10.
a wild dude, man. You a wild dude,
Absolutely.
Chef. You a wild
Absolutely.
dude.
Okay,
I put
I
him there
found this on the
because
web for you before you go, Shelton, talking about how.
what was that?
Even Siri
That was
cussing you
AI.
out.
That was AI telling you how
Here we
dumb
go.
you are. That was AI telling you. That was AI telling you that was a dumbass
I
pick.
got Sirianni on my list. You know,
You got Chat GPT telling him that was a dumb pick.
and I'm gonna be honest, Sirianni is not one of my favorites. I did that because I like Fangio. And I like
You got him on your
Bro,
list, nigga.
bro.
Ain't
I
nobody
got I
asked
like I like
Oh,
the-
you
I like
going
the-
at the
I
troll.
like the OC and the DC. So I put Nick Sirianni
Yeah,
up there
get
because
out
I
of
like
here,
my
Chef.
offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Vic Fangio is gonna show you some things this year. Watch what they do. All right, 9, I got Dan Campbell. I'm not really into the rah-rah stuff. He's not a great coach, but he gets out of the way unless his people that like Ben Johnson do what he's supposed to do to get them where they are. So you got to give him credit for getting where he is. Mike McDaniel, because he is proven, like we said about Tua, everybody knows about Tua. He's brought the best out of Tua as opposed to Brian Flores. At 7, I got DeMeco Ryans. You cannot discount the fact that this guy brought a rookie QB in and got them as far. Nobody was talking about the Texans. Nobody thought about the Texans. So there's no way you can include this man on your list. And I expect big things from him. John Harbaugh, enough said, he's a winner in the regular season. He needs to push further in the playoffs, though, this year for me. He's going to have to really, really make some things happen for it to shake. Now, let me give you my top 5. My top 5, I got Mike Tomlin at 5. Proof is in the pudding. He's always done more with less, so he deserves to be there no matter what. At 4, I got Matt LaFleur. I'm really pleased with how he's developed Jordan Love and those young receivers. They look like they're cooking with hot grease. I love that team, man. I love what they're doing. Sean McVay at 3. Sean McVay, you can't say much about this man other than he wins and puts great product on the field. You see it all the time. I can't put him at 2, FIFO. 2 has to be Kyle Shanahan because you're winning with Mr. Irrelevant at quarterback. You can't put Sean McVay over Mr. Irrelevant. You got to give credit where credit is due. Kyle Shanahan is that guy. And at 1, I got Andy Reid.
I gave Sean McVay credit because he has the better head-to-head record and he has a better overall record than Kyle. And I could argue that Kyle has had a better roster than Sean has.
He had Mr. Irrelevant at quarterback, and he made the Super Bowl. So for that alone, he deserved to be in the number 2 spot. And Andy Reid at 1 because of reasons obvious.
Shelton,
Because he has the best quarterback ever to walk the planet of the face of the earth.
That he made the move to go get.
well,
Sheldon,
Shelton, to me, your McVay Kyle Shanahan argument doesn't make sense because Sean McVay has coached and is currently he has coached 2 of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league right now, and Matt Stafford and Jared Goff.
Well,
And he won with, and he at least won a Super Bowl.
Well, I look at it.
Yeah, Jared Goff. And at least he won a Super Bowl. What has Kyle Shanahan has he been to the dance and ain't got no numbers?
I look at this more.
Kyle Shanahan ain't never had a quarterback as good as Matt Stafford though.
I ain't trying to hear all that. He went to 2 Super Bowls, bro.
But I look right. He did. That's the point. But I look at it more or less like, what have you done for me lately? I don't look at it like we're not talking about just awards and accolades. If that's the case, then we need to reshuffle this whole list. But it's what have you done for me lately? And then saying that, like I said, I've seen Kyle Shanahan do more lately. So that's why I got to give him the credit over McVay. Even though, McVay is 3. But still, as far as that argument goes, like I said, nobody expected Brock Purdy, nothing from Brock Purdy. So to get what
by now we have been by now. That shit with Brock Purdy, like us being wild by the fact that he's Mr. That shit is old news, bro. He been to 2 NFC championships and he went to a Super Bowl.
You sound crazy, Nick.
Yeah.
You sound insane right
So we don't have expectations for Brock Purdy going into the season? It's still
this season, but not the previous 2 seasons.
Right.
I'm saying
the expectations are now because he's looking for a contract because they've already seen success. He's went to a Super Bowl. So we expect him to do that now. That didn't happen before this season. No.
What I'm saying
he may have not even been in the league had he not been with Kyle Shanahan. So let's
but I'm saying
Brock Purdy's doing this on his own.
That's the whole MO. We learned that from Sean McVay. Jared Goff may not be in the league if it wasn't for Sean McVay. And Sean McVay actually won a Super Bowl. Well, with a quarterback we all thought that had all the talent in the world but couldn't get it done when it really matters. He changed our perceptions on both of them niggas.
Jared Goff is having success with Dan Campbell, so we can't use him as that example.
Who's gotten most success out of Jared Goff? Is Sean McVay or Dan Campbell?
If you count the Super Bowl trip, then you use Sean McVay.
Obviously, I'm counting the Super Bowl trip. Nigga, fuck you think I'm saying?
What I'm saying is he looks just as good now. He looked just as good as past years he did.
But he
we didn't think Jared Goff was gonna play again like he is after he left Sean McVay, if not ever, bro.
And he's doing it. That's my point.
It took years. It was years.
But he's still doing it. So the fact that he's doing it, you still got to give him the credit. So it's the player. But in the Brock Purdy case, you can't say that Brock Purdy would have went to another team and done just as much. We can't say that without Sean McVay, without Kyle Shanahan.
I'm saying based on what we know now, we can't be given. Never mind. Let's just move on because I ain't got time.
I gotta go to sleep. I ain't got time.
All right, man. Let's jump into it. Let's start with number 10, Kevin Stefanski. He actually had y'all thinking that Joe Flacco could play quarterback again. Sean McDermott at number 9, Mike McDaniel at 8. Give me Matt LaFleur at 7, and of course Dan Campbell at 6. Moving into the I was about to say Mike McConnell wasn't even close to my list. Kevin McConnell. Give me D'Amico Ryans at number 5. Mike Tomlin at number 4. Kyle Shanahan at 3. Sean McVay at 2. And of course, Andy Reid, man, at number 1.
Why you get that? What skinhead you got at number 9? Why is he on your damn list? Why is Sean McVay on the top 10?
Sean McDermott.
Sean McDermott. Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Hey man, look what he did last year. They went from being out of the playoffs to making the playoffs, and actually, so you got to get the man can coach. He's been coaching fairly well the last couple of years.
So how come
he's been saved?
No Kevin Stefanski hate. Why I'm the only one giving Kevin Stefanski hate?
Because we already got it off with you. We ain't got to reiterate it. You don't have to reiterate it with Ken. Like they understand. That's not a good pick. Like the Browns are going to suck this year, and he's going.
Were they bad last year?
They were not.
What
he did a hell of a
bro. He won with fucking old ass Joe Flacco, bro.
Stefanski is going to get fired this year. That's what's going to happen because they paid all of this money for massage room creep, and now it's going to have to pay off, and it ain't going to happen.
I don't know. I think Stefanski's been coaching pretty good for the last couple of years, bro.
Nope. I don't
Nick
think so.
Chubb is back.
Then you must don't watch this sport as much as you think. I don't know what we watching. He had fucking
College
Joe
football.
Black out there balling, bro.
He was
Nah,
watching college football.
I'll give him that. I give him that. He
That was luck.
did.
That
No,
was luck.
Stefanski coached his ass off last. He's one of the. I know people ain't gonna really talk about it because of how that season ended, but like he did coach his ass off. I just don't have him on my list because I don't think he. I think
Let me ask y'all
beat
this:
the Bengals.
how many games do y'all think do y'all think the Browns will win over 9 games this year?
Hey, Lou. Last year he
Yeah.
beat Joe Burrow with PJ Walker.
Okay. My
Give that
question
man
is,
credit.
if you had to bet your paycheck, Sheldon, that the Browns would win 9 games this year, would you bet it?
9 games.
Yes.
This is a tough division and a tough conference because they play
exactly. All this nickel babble y'all doing lets me know exactly my point is correct.
I said yes. I said yes.
Oh,
Yep.
a whole paycheck? Like, nah, get out of here.
I think he can get 9 games.
He can. It's definitely possible.
That's the toughest division in football, Ken.
He got 11 last year.
Yeah,
That's the toughest division in football.
I'll give him
I'll
over
reiterate
9 games. I'll give him over 9 games based off that defense.
I wouldn't bet a check on that. I wouldn't bet a check that he would win over 9 games this year.
It's really
you talking about the Ravens, the Steelers, and who's the other team that?
Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, yeah.
That's it.
Bengals,
The
yeah,
Bengals,
like, nah, hell no.
I forgot about them.
Hell no. I'm not
first of
betting
all,
he win 9
and
games.
Sheldon, he beat a hurt Joe Burrow. That's what he did. He was hurt last year.
PJ Walker beat the shit out of Joe Burrow.
Yeah, he was hurt last year. Let's get to the golden list. Come on, Jalen. You kept the fans waiting for too long. We had to go through all that bullshit.
Save the worst for last.
The best for last. Number 10, John Harbaugh. The reason why I have him at 10 is because he got all that talent in the world and he ain't done shit with it. Lamar Jackson literally saved his job. I think we all forget that. And he has been coasting ever since then. Look at his record without Lamar. Look at his record with Lamar, and he's on the last leg out. I probably should have had DeMeco Ryans at 10, but I need another season with him. At number 9, I got Jim Harbaugh. Yes, he hasn't coached in the NFL for a while. However, he's probably the hottest coach in the NFL right now, coming off that national title game. And he's working with Justin Herbert, who I think he's going to resurrect. So we'll see with the Chargers. Mike McDaniel, I do give him credit for the turnaround he's did with Tua. We'll actually have that conversation later on. But I do fuck with what he's done as far as his scheme. I think the Mike McCarthy disrespect should stop today because
Nick, this is one of the craziest takes you've ever had on this
I'm saying this because of this, bro. He has made the Cowboys relevant again.
Cowboys are always going to be relevant.
I'm talking about contending wise. They have not been this relevant since Mike McCarthy got there. Even when you talk about Jason Garrett, everybody knew Jason Garrett wasn't going to do shit. At least with Mike McCarthy,
that's a disgusting pick.
Mike McCarthy,
he shouldn't even have a job.
Mike McCarthy
he should have got fired last year, and you got him at 7.
At number 7. Number 6, I got Mike Tomlin. I do respect the fact that he's never had a losing season. However, with the quarterback play that I saw this past week, it's the first time for everything. You know what I'm saying? But let's get to the top 5. That's what everybody really care about. Number 5, of course, you got to have Zach Taylor in that motherfucker, boy. And hey, Sheldon, if Mike Tomlin had the last 3 seasons like Zach Taylor, he'll be number 2 on my list. And number 4, we got Gucci Mane LaFleur. I fucked up his name. It's LA. It's not LE. I fucked that up. But Gucci Mane LaFleur showed me a lot last year. One, not only turning around, not only the QB room, but the whole team. I put that a lot on Matt LaFleur. I like the culture he built in Green Bay. And he could be like how Mike McCarthy was as far as going from one Hall of Famer and coaching up another Hall of Famer. As far as Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, I think Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love could be interesting. Number 3, I got to get respect where respect due with Kyle Shanahan. He's been to multiple Super Bowls in the last 4 seasons, been to multiple NFC title games in the last 4 seasons as well. That's the last thing you'll hear me say as far as the praise I give him. Sean McVay, I think he's underrated. Even after winning the Super Bowl against my Bengals, I think that this upcoming season we'll see who the real Sean McVay is. He was able to really rally that Rams team that's been dealing with a lot of injuries and is getting older now. So I think this may be his last hurrah with this iteration of the Rams. but I think he'll do a lot of. He made Puka Nacua, whatever the nigga's name is, a breakout star receiver. So that just goes to show you that his system is great. And number one, of course, you got to have Andy Reid. I mean, back-to-back Super Bowls. If he wins another one, he's the first coach to three-peat. And I think at that point, we can look at Patty saying he may get 8. If Patty if Andy Reid wins the Super Bowl this time, that's 4. He got 4 Super Bowls. He could get 8, bro. Yeah, I'm just saying that. But that's the top 10 list.
Jim Harbaugh is going to be so trash this year.
I agree, man. I agree. He getting a lot of love.
That's why would y'all think that?
He win everywhere he go. He win.
What are y'all basing it on?
He's overrated. He's overrated, coach.
Everywhere he went, he wins. Stanford, Michigan,
Utah,
49ers. It don't matter where he go, he wins. So why would y'all think it's not going to happen here?
We don't know what he is until he gets here. And
he's been what he is over the last 6 coaching jobs. He wins games.
You going from J.J. McCarthy, who doesn't throw the ball at all, to a team where you expect the quarterback to be that guy.
No, they not. No, they not. Because you know why, Shelton? Because they know who their quarterback is. They know their quarterback can't win. We see that when the Jaguars spotted them 27,000 points and they lost that game. He can't win.
Let me ask y'all, who is the Chargers starting running back?
It don't matter.
Does it matter?
Nobody knows. Who is the number one guy?
Who is any team starting running back? Other than Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. Does it matter?
No, my thing is that look at Harbaugh's building the team like he always does, and they always work. He didn't draft one of them receivers with his pick in the first round. He went to go get him an offensive lineman. He gonna run the ball and let Justin Herbert not have to throw it as much as he been doing, because it ain't working. So why are we keep doing some shit that ain't working? They are gonna run the ball with whoever the fuck they got in the backfield, Shelton, and they gonna win games. They gonna win games.
To Nick's point, Shelton, it don't matter who the running back is. It don't matter really. Justin Herbert is the quarterback. They're going to do what Harbaugh has been doing every phase of his coaching career. At Stanford, at Michigan, at the 49ers, wherever he's been, he's done the same thing, and it's worked. It's going to work in San Diego. It's going to work here too. There's no reason why it shouldn't work.
These weren't nameless, faceless players he had, though. He had players. And once again, if you don't have a number one receiver, you don't have a number one running back, I don't see how you can say
Shelton, when does that ever stop him? He's coached Colin Kaepernick. He made J.J. McCartney a top 10 pick, bro. With that nigga only throwing 5 times throughout that whole playoffs.
Because you had Blake Corum.
All I'm saying is that
throwing the ball in the second half. So
all I'm saying that he's always dealt with.
Harbaugh is ready to do his job.
Blake Corum and Edwards, he had 2 of the best running backs in college football last year. That's my point. The
only way that you would say the Harbaugh wouldn't work is if you thought that the Chargers didn't have a good roster, and they do. They have the roster.
You can't even tell me who their running back is.
I don't care bro. I can't tell you who 75% of the running backs are that start in the NFL are. There are only a couple of those guys that are good, and Harbaugh knows that. I just got to have a good defensive line. I just got to have a good scheme, and then I'm going to be able to work it from there.
All I'm saying is this:
the running back don't matter.
The running back doesn't matter because the position has been so devalued that everybody say you can put anybody back there as long as you got a decent to good offensive line and you good. And the running back only needs to average 60. We did the math, didn't we? With 17 games, they only got to average. They only got to average 60 yards a game for a 1,000-yard season.
But we're talking about a guy whose strength is what? Running the football. That's his
defense. Running the football and defense.
Right. And you're talking about we don't even know who this running back goes. Gus Edwards, I think, is going to be the starting running back who can't stay healthy. So if you don't have that number one guy workhorse to take some of that pressure off your quarterback, you don't have an offense. You got to have somebody that can get you those
Sheldon, the thing that we're saying, though, is who's to say that they don't have that running back? We don't know in today's NFL. The dude that they got starting – no, the dude that they got starting back there today may be the same dude that the Rams had starting. Nobody knew him, and he ended up at the top of the league in rushing over the 2024 season.
Well,
we'll
know. See. I just think it's a little premature to put him on the list. He just got back to the NFL.
Yep. I don't disagree.
But shout out to D'Amico Ryans.
Y'all crazy. Yep.
But D'Amico, you need another
And
year
Mike
from D'Amico Ryans.
I need another year from D'Amico though. Hey Ken,
right.
that was a magical ass season in Houston, bro.
It was.
I'm gonna
Can he
say
replicate
this.
it?
I don't knock you for that, but that's funny.
But and that's the thing. He showed you he got success, and they added another number one receiver to go along with a strong receiving core.
I've literally the reason why I say that, Sheldon, is because I literally seen Jim Harbaugh turn a shitball 49ers team with that same roster to a playoff team, to a Super Bowl contender.
How many years it took?
It took about 2-3 years. He turned that team around quick.
All right, he just got back to the NFL. You don't think he needs 2 or 3 years to turn this team around?
Right. I had him at Ken. I just had him at number 9. He gonna be.
He got a lot of pieces, Ken. Like when he went to Michigan, like the first couple of years he sucked because he didn't have his guys. Once he got his guys, he was beating Ohio State.
That's what I'm saying. Like he just got there,
But
he hasn't had a chance to turn the team around yet.
But the guys
to be in the
that
top
are
10.
The guys that are there are quality, Ken.
Ken,
The issue has never been the roster.
Over under 7 games for the Chargers this season.
Over.
At 7 games, they're gonna win 7 games. You gave up your number 1 and 2 receivers. Your top receiver is Lad McConkey.
Okay,
no, it's Quentin Johnson.
We're talking the Raiders.
Have you seen Quentin Johnson this summer?
I haven't, so I ain't gonna say shit else about Quentin Johnson.
Go look up Quentin Johnson. They saying Quentin Johnson. He
y'all
is not
still
been
acting
favorable.
Y'all acting like the quarterback is not a top tier quarterback though.
He was a top tier
It really don't
quarterback.
matter who he got to
Let y'all tell it. He hasn't been. Let Nick tell it. Let Shelton tell it. Y'all been shitting on Herbert since he got here.
Now saying that he's here with good coaching and he's going to have a good game plan in place this season. It don't matter who his receivers are.
To me, it don't matter. To me,
matter.
the reason why I don't care about Ken, the reason why I'm like saying he's gonna do this stuff for Justin Herbert, because I seen him do stuff with any quarterback. Right now, Justin Herbert is any kind of quarterback to me because he proved to me he ain't a nigga that's gonna win you games. So I believe in Harbaugh. That's the only reason why I'm like I have Harbaugh top 10 because I truly believe that by this season we're gonna be like, damn, that was a great hire that LA did getting Harbaugh already in 1 year.
Yeah, there's only one quarterback in the league right now that it don't matter who his receivers are. And unless you're that guy, it matters who your receivers are. Every other quarterback you name, you can name a receiver that you can put in tandem with that quarterback. From Joe Burrow to whoever else you want to put in that group. They all got a number one guy that's their stop blanket. They all got that. We just admitted on this show that we don't even know their top receiver is Lad McConkey, Josh Palmer, and who's the third one that starts? Some other Quentin Johnson ain't even. I don't even think Quentin Johnson is listed on the depth chart. They don't have those safety blankets for his quarterback. You don't have a star running back. You don't need a star running back. You need a solid running back. Gus Edwards is not that. He's not.
Gus Edwards is solid.
Prone.
Gus Edwards is solid though.
He's injury prone.
He balled out. He balled out with Baltimore last year. I had him on my fantasy team. That's why I know that. Yeah, he's solid.
That's why he's not there. He's not there. So we got to see what's going to happen with this coach. I like the hire. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be an instant fix.
I'm just saying 7 games. I ain't saying he's gonna make the playoffs. I don't think that's to me that's going crazy. I just think Jim Harbaugh is worth because what they win last year with 4 or 5 games. Harbaugh is worth at least 2.
Yeah, I think they'll win at least 7. I agree with that.
Yeah, 7 is if 7 is the barometer, and that's the same thing though, Nick. Why the Chargers can win 7 and be okay? You think Raheem got to get fired if he'll make the playoffs?
because Kirk Cousins is his quarterback, and he pushed his chips in. I'll pay a nigga coming off an ACL $100 million, and I'm gonna go draft this other nigga.
A quarterback, a coach winning 7 games should not be in the top 10.
When you're talking about where this team was at last year,
you can't, bro. You just can't do that.
I'm saying this. When you talk about where he's if he wins 7 games,
say whatever. That shit don't make sense, bro. But
I said over under 7 games. That's a great point, Ken. I said over under 7 games. I got the over on 7. That's all I'm trying to say.
That's a participation trophy for your ass right there.
Chargers win 7 games. Everybody going home happy this season. That's all.
Gotcha. All right. Well, anyway, a couple of closing topics. Any coaches you guys have on the hot seat?
Mike McCarthy for sure.
Oh, FIFO, it ain't Zach Taylor this shit, FIFO. Your goofy ass.
Yeah, it's definitely Mike McCarthy, Sirianni are definitely two that are on the hot seat, in my opinion.
I will put here's some ones that I again, like I mentioned Raheem Morris possibly.
No.
But I think the Brian Daboll could be an interesting conversation, even though I think it'll be dumb.
Dude in Chicago, Matt Eberflus definitely.
Yeah, he's definitely on the hot seat. They got to win at least 7 games for him to keep his job.
A lot of the talks about Robert Saleh with the Jets.
I thought about that too. Robert Saleh is who I was thinking.
They got to at least get to the division around the division around.
I think the playoffs, bro.
Because the playoffs that bar is too low just to say to get to the playoffs, bro.
But Nick, we talking about a squad, a team that drafted Zach Wilson, went through all of that turmoil, got Aaron Rodgers in the building. He didn't even play a game, bro. He didn't even play a game. And that O-line is still suspect. I think as long as they get to the playoffs, whether they win or lose, I think that's a good stepping stone to get better the next year, bro. Because here's the thing. Like, I think A-Rod got another 2-3 years, solid years.
No, he does not. He does not, bro. And I'm an A-Rod, again, a defender too. A-Rod got this season and next season. That's it. As far as us saying, like, if Mr. Rogers' neighborhood type A-Rod, he got this season.
It may just be this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I agree with Ken. It's this year.
This year.
Because to me, it's just like, with how stacked this roster is, as you mentioned, if they don't win a playoff game, like making the playoffs to me it has to be a guarantee. Because right now people are talking about them as the best team in the division. Yeah. It has to be a guarantee. And then whoever you meet in the first round is going to be, if you win a division, you're a top 4 seed, you probably playing with Pittsburgh, maybe some bum ass team. You know what I'm saying? You got to win that game. If he lose to Pittsburgh with Aaron Rodgers in the first round, hell no, you fired.
Well, here's the thing: they got to. The reason why I said make the playoffs is because look at the division, right? Like, we know that the Dolphins are the best roster in that division.
They're not.
We look at the bit. Who is?
You looking at 2 players on offense, bro. That's Waddle and Hill.
No, they got more than that.
Name me somebody on defense. Name me somebody on defense that y'all give a fuck about.
Jalen Phillips.
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey. What do you?
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey, nice. Had a good year.
Bro.
And Phillips. And Chubb. And Javon Holland.
What's the safety name?
Yeah,
Holland.
Javon Holland.
You're naming some B-list, C-list ass defenders.
That's better than the rest of the division, though.
The Jets got the Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner. Off rip, y'all not taking nobody on that defense before any of those two.
And then there's a big fall off after that.
No, it's not. They got their linebackers. Their linebackers are better than the linebackers in Miami.
They got a solid defense. It's just that your guys in Miami are proven niggas.
And they can play in the cold. What are you talking about?
I give you that.
Yeah.
And then we look at the Bills. People are saying the Bills are still a playoff team.
Yeah.
I think the Bills.
The Bills have the best quarterback in the division.
The Bills are set for a drop off though, because you're talking about it. Well, we'll talk about that later. But
roster got worse. Yeah.
And you're talking about a quarterback that's already turnover prone, having to force more plays. So that's gonna be tough. I also look at crazy may sound, Todd Bowles may be on the hot seat if they don't have a good year. I don't think that they. Yeah, even though they made the playoffs last year, I just don't think that they're too high on Todd Bowles. I don't think that's who they figure the answer is.
And Baker Mayfield isn't a permanent solution. He's he's a strong ass Band-Aid. So
No.
Tampa could reset.
They
And
gave him money though. They gave him
Evans-
money like he was the solution though.
Well, they gave him money because they need somebody to play the position. But I
For
think
right now, yeah.
I think Tampa Bay
You know
is
what the
just
proper
like
term is? He is a bridge quarterback.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And is Todd
Absolutely.
Bowles the person that I want bridging the team to the next generation to show him point?
That's fine.
you could use him as
Todd
that,
Bowles
but
is
you
a
fire
bridge
him.
Yeah,
You can get
100%.
fired.
And go get you an offensive head coach when you draft a young quarterback.
Yeah. I think that, this season saved Todd Bowles. Them making the playoffs and when the playoff game saved him because he was not, I thought they were going to get rid of him before that.
I think so. I think even if Todd Bowles didn't win, if Todd Bowles just went to the playoffs and lost that game, I thought he was probably gonna get fired.
I thought so too.
The fact that he won is what kept him his job.
Right.
What you about to say?
I think I was just gonna say my hot seat would be McCarthy, of course, being a Cowboys fan, and the Saints head coach. I can't think of his name right now.
Dennis Allen.
Dennis Allen. He definitely has to be on the hot seat. And the Carolina Panthers head coach.
Nah, he just got there. This is his first year.
Don't matter. Hey, it don't matter.
Nah, they can't.
It was a terrible pick, bro. It was a terrible pick. It was a terrible pick, and they got an owner who doesn't want to sit through all the bullshit as far as I own an NFL team and we're gonna let this play out. He wants quick results.
I'm gonna say this.
But with him,
I would say he's on the high seat.
Hold on, Sheldon. Let me ask you a question real quick. Do you think Bryce Young is a bust already? Do y'all think he's a bust already?
No.
Yes, he's a bust.
No, he's not.
He's a bust.
He's not yet.
He's a bust.
The problem though with Carolina is Tepper has he has a reputation of firing coaches really quickly, so he's gonna have to quell that. He's gonna have to sit on this one for a minute. Tepper
Real quick,
FIFO
showed y'all say he's not a bust. How many games y'all think they'll win this year?
Who, the Panthers?
5 or
Yes.
less.
They're gonna struggle. Oh, they're gonna struggle. But a lot. He's shown some progress this summer. I just think that roster.
How many games y'all think he'll win? Less than 5 games this year. When y'all think he's gonna be better?
When they get that roster around him.
When he gets on another
That's
team,
that's never going to happen.
When he gets on another team or gets a better roster around him.
I'm sorry,
Hey,
this
is it, bro.
They got to win 5 games. They got to win 5 games this year. They damn near like Dion. Colorado and Carolina Panthers are on the same path together. They got to win at least 5 games.
Colorado got some hope. Carolina ain't got no hope.
Spike, look, here's the thing. You said, when is that going to happen? They finally got their first round pick. You know what I'm saying? This year. We know they're going to suck. They should be a top 5 pick in the league. You know what I'm saying? Go get you either the best weapon that you could go get, or the best edge rusher that you could go get, or a shutdown defender that you can go get. But at the end of the day, Spike, they will have an opportunity. This is what it's going to take.
Based off what you've seen with the quarterback that they have, how small he is, and everything else that goes into them having Young as a quarterback, do you think that will help?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every quarterback needs weapons, bro.
He gotta have a receiver, Lou. Once again, you gotta have some type of talent.
It won't matter. It's not going to matter.
Jonathan Mingo. These guys are not getting open.
It's not going to matter.
It does. If you got talent around you, you gotta have somebody. You gotta have somebody that's showing you some flashes. If nobody's around you, if you can't get open, I can't get you the ball, I'm in trouble.
Bro, if I draft a 5'7" quarterback and there's nothing special about him, that's on me. I can't say, oh, we need receivers or linemen. Like, I drafted a 5'7" quarterback and I'm expecting him to be great, and he's not. And it's cool. We need to move on from that. But I don't think he'll bust. Bryce Young is going to be. He's a bust.
If they win less than 5 games this season, then I'll entertain the bust idea. But
Nick, they will win less than 5 games this season.
Man. If if you have no weapons, you have no opportunity. Your coaches are bad. Everything around him was bad. Who did they hire?
That's fair,
Frank,
Sheldon. That's
you
fair.
You got to give him opportunity, man.
But that's fair, but you're telling me that you watched him and you thought that he was an elite NFL quarterback?
No, I thought that he was a young quarterback.
That's it. That's it.
A young quarterback that needed an opportunity. He
If
He
you
got
don't
an
think he's
opportunity.
elite, bro, if you don't think he's elite and he's already 5'6" and he can't see over the offensive line,
That man gets
ain't
shorter.
nothing gonna get better, bro. It ain't gonna change. This is it. This is what you see, bro. It's it.
All right, come on,
He ain't
Bryce
gonna get
Young.
better, bro.
I'm gonna give Bryce Young 6 wins this year.
All
I ain't
right.
doing no.
all
You
right.
don't even believe that.
Hey,
put that drink down, Sheldon. Put that drink down.
well, Shelton, how many wins you gonna give Dion this year? And do you
Dion.
think the media being too hard on Colorado and Dion?
I think they are, man. I don't think they're being too hard on him. I think for Dion, any press is good press, and that's what he wants. They're going to lose probably about 3 to 4 games this year, but the media's been riding bad. I sent y'all that clip where they they made it look like they stitched that play together. Man, everybody been riding those guys, but the more he talks, the more attention he brings to his team. And like I said, you got to take the good with the bad. I think everybody's gunning for that team, so I think they'll do all right. Though I still think he has a lot of talent. That as long as they can stay healthy.
You think they're gonna win 7 games?
Yes.
That's crazy.
If they win 7 games, they gonna build a statue for Dion.
Yeah.
Yes. They'll win 7 games.
I would say 4 at the most.
No,
you think they're just gonna match what they did last year?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, man, come on, man.
He gotta win 5. He gotta win 5. If he don't win 5, bro,
Look at their schedule. Look at their schedule.
I know they schedule tough. I'm just saying that's what I'm saying. 5. He got to win at least 1 more than what he did. He got to just keep showing
4
progress.
Games. 4 games. Actually, 4 games will be lucky. To be honest with you, like,
hold on, let me look at it. Let me look at their schedule because I feel like Luke hyping the fuck out of this.
Nah,
North Dakota State. You got Nebraska. You got Colorado State. That's 3 wins right there.
That's
3 wins.
They're not going to be Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska. Come on, man.
He can get the first 3 games.
Yeah,
that's
he's
not
gonna
true.
win those first 2 games.
That's not true.
That's nothing.
I want to make it. I want to make sure the black people that's listening to this understand the like clear expectations of what's going to happen here. They're not going to be Nebraska.
Baylor is the 4th game. You got UCF the 5th game. Kansas State. Kansas State.
They might start on.
No, bro. Kansas State is the only ranked team that's their first ranked team.
No, they Arizona. They got Arizona, Utah, and Kansas.
No, yeah, I was gonna say Kansas State is first, and then you got Arizona. Then you play Cincinnati. That's an easy dub.
No, it's
Texas Tech, and then number 12 Utah. So you really the schedule is not hard. Kansas.
That's a hard ass schedule, bro. Once we get
you talking about? That's a hard schedule.
Not compared to last year.
Last year's schedule was easier.
No, they won 3 games last year. Though.
Honestly, now that I'm looking at this, bro, if they don't win their first 5, their wins are gonna come in the first 5 weeks or first 5 weeks. If they don't win, if they don't go 5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 in that, they not winning another game. Because I'm sorry, they got Kansas State, then you on the road at Arizona, then you're at home against Cincinnati, then you're on the road against Texas Tech, then then you play Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma to end the year off.
So winning 6 games is going to be very difficult for them.
Lou, let me ask you this question though. So you think this team gonna win 4 games, and you want him to be your quarterback to replace that? He can't win 4 games.
Yes,
that's a good point.
Yes. Yes. I don't even know what the question is. I don't even know why y'all laughing and saying it's a good point. Yes, nigga. Give me Tua Sanders and Dion Sanders as the head coach, quarterback coach for Dallas, and I'm thinking that all day.
If they can't win 4 games, then you want them on your roster.
I would say this that yes, I do think the media is coming at Dion harshly. However, it's deserved because he talked hella shit last year, and he's still talking shit now. He ain't even talking to. He took off a whole network from questions. He said CBS. Oh hell no, I don't talk to CBS.
I ain't talking to y'all. Yeah.
He was like, nigga, I'm the affiliate station. We local. He was like, nigga,
he said, I don't even care. I don't even care, bro. I ain't fucking with nobody at CBS.
Yeah, that to me that says like, nah, bro. You got to win 5 games, bro. You can't keep talking all this shit and being this exclusive, and you still only winning 4. If he wins less than 4 games, he gonna move on. He gonna pull a Magic Johnson
to Dallas. He moving on to Dallas. Head coach of the Cowboys, man.
Y'all will really be rough because he ain't gonna be able to. He can't coach, bro. But I do.
Nah, go ahead.
I think he deserves what's happening to him. But I think this year will be better than last year. I just got a sneaky feeling. I don't have any proof. I don't got to have any evidence. He's going to talk a lot of shit if it happens, but he might sneak around and find a way to improve on last year. But he's got to come out the gate hot to give himself a chance.
What does that mean to you, though? Like, does that mean more wins? Like, what do you
more
mean
wins. Yeah, more wins.
So versus 3, it would be 5.
Yeah, I think you get to 5, maybe 6.
Okay. And then Dion wouldn't be the sellout that you call him as.
Oh, he still is. That hasn't changed. But
if he get the 5 wins, he get the Ken approved.
I think what happened last year was what needed to happen last year. I think a lot of people that got onto this Dion train, they all got humbled, except Dion. you just don't humble Dion. For whatever reason, this man just can't be humble. He don't give a damn. But I think a lot of people, and you know, I don't know, man. It's just everybody just jumping off the bandwagon like that and turning against him. You know, it's just like, you know, it's you know, I don't say I told you so a lot, but you know, last year was one of those years where I could have said it. But I think that they're hard on him because he talked a lot of shit and he failed.
Yeah.
But the media and white people don't like when black people don't bend the knee in that way. This man lost all those games and he still don't give a damn.
Yeah, he ain't humble enough for them, is it?
Nah, and you won't humble him because he gonna find a way to talk around it.
That's why they gave him that schedule.
Yeah,
somebody in the chat saying we hyping up the schedule. I'm like, bro, like I'm even looking at that Colorado State game because I seen that they I think somebody sent the clip or like a thing where like the quarterback and wide receiver turned down bread to go elsewhere to continue to play at Colorado State. Everybody in that whole schedule. They circled that whole. Out of everybody on that they playing this year, they circled Colorado and said we got to ball out this game because this is probably gonna be our biggest game of the season.
But Spike, if this motherfucker, if this motherfucker terrible, bro, I'm grabbing that Ripley flamethrower she used the alien, bro. I'm coming in this motherfucker. I'm lighting this bitch up, bro.
Now, kid, I agree. If he doesn't win, it's gonna be hilarious. But if he start balling, what if they start balling this year?
What if they win 10 games? That's what I'm saying.
If they win,
what if they win 10 games?
So,
and you're talking about, we got to decide if they're gonna be in the college football playoff or not.
They got to be in because they're gonna have the whole.
If I ain't even saying 10, I'm just saying if they win 8 games, he gonna be on. We ain't
10,
gonna hear
10 will be a serious consideration though.
So 10,
you're right. 8 is like he did his job. Okay, Dion can say another year, but if we're talking about 10 and all the media across nationwide places are going to be talking about him, that's going to be different.
Lou, they're going to be talking about him. They're going to talk about him at 8 though. And I guarantee you, because the way they play, and then you got to give credit where credit is due. Shedeur and Travis Hunter look like amazing. They always do when they play. They always flash. So that offense can hold up, and that line can protect them a little bit longer. This team got a shot because they can put.
I think y'all overhyping Shedeur though. I don't think he.
We got to see Ken because I don't want to say it either.
Don't do that, Ken. Don't do that, Ken.
Give him
do that, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it.
If he don't ball this shit, we gonna have a conversation.
No, Nick, stop. You on Ken's side? Stop, bro.
Shedeur
is a dude.
Yeah, he's
a dude. Like that. Let's not do that. Drake May did his shit and we hyped him as a top quarterback.
No, wrong program. Who the hell said that on here?
Man, we ain't nobody said that. We don't even talk about Drake.
Manny
ain't on the show, is he?
No. Yeah. But
Shedeur is legit though.
He is legit. He can make all the throws. He just needs time.
He legit.
The offensive line got to hold up. If that line don't hold up, then it's gonna be trouble. That's what it boils down to. But we done seen Dion foul the offensive lineman before, so hopefully this line is going to protect them a little better than they did last year. Because that was the beginning of the downfall. He had no time. He was running for his life back there.
Okay. Last thing, any thoughts on Tua interview with Dan Le Batard?
That was wild, was it not? Because you don't expect people to say, you don't really get a lot of that kind of talk with people that are currently in the league. The coach is still around and the player, usually that kind of stuff happens later on. But in this age of social media, we talked about it earlier, how these folks, man, they pop off on these podcasts, boy, they be telling everything now. And for him to come out and say that, that kind of sheds new light on that situation. But we all not necessarily new light, because we knew that Flores didn't like him. We knew he wanted another quarterback in his stead. But, Tua has shined under McDaniel, at least enough to get another contract and enough to where that team has thrived. So I can believe it was said. I believe it based off what I've seen anyway. But still, I'm just shocked that it came out in the media, and I'm shocked he said something about it.
We got a local Miami resident, or at least whenever he changes location. What you think about it? What you think about what he said? I got plenty of thoughts, but I want to hear y'all's first.
I agree with Shelton, where we rarely see players, active players, be this candid, but it don't surprise me. I forgot who I was listening to, but they were saying how Josh McDaniels is exactly the same way. Coming from that Belichick tree, because Belichick can do it doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. You know what I'm saying? We've seen a lot of disciples of the Belichick tree just not gain the type of traction that they came into the job with. You know what I'm saying? So it does not surprise me. It is what it is, though. I'm glad that he got it off his chest, though. Like, it felt like this was pretty therapeutic for him to put it out there in the world. Which we typically don't see that, but I'm cool, because I feel like he's better for it. You know what I'm saying? He had to go through it. I think it made him a better quarterback, whether, it was the dog days at that point in time. But, Mike McDaniel breathed new life into him. You know what I'm saying? So, we're seeing the best version of Tua right now.
What you got about it, Lou?
This is weak. This is weak in the sense of, like, bro, I know there are a lot of different coaches. I know Nick Saban wasn't handling you with kid gloves. I know that. I know, because I've seen Nick Saban documentaries. I've seen how he handles the different players in this organization. And for you to single out Brian Flores to, like, oh, he was riding me hard, pause, and trying to make sure that I didn't get too relaxed in this situation, and wanted to make sure that I knew that he was riding me every day. I don't like that. I don't like.
Let me pause you right there, because there's a difference between riding somebody hard and trying to get them to be a better player, and there's a difference of saying, you know what, I wish you wasn't even here. You're not even the player that I wanted. Like
that's cool, FIFO. You're right, FIFO. You're right, but what they got to do with the media, though? Why I gotta go tell Dan Le Batard this? Well, this is something that happens. This is something that happens when we, as teammates, coaches, and all of us are trying to add to a collective goal and win a championship. This is what we do. I may be going too hard on you. Okay, I understand that. But for you to go tell Dan Le Batard that it's crazy, especially from the sense of, I'm still trying to get a head coaching job. Like, you're starting quarterback.
It's not going to happen.
Bro. Yeah, it's done.
Spike.
Y'all saying you saying that, kid? You saying that, Nick, that it's not going to happen, but it ain't helping me any much so that you saying that you were shitting on me and I was only trying to do my job.
He wasn't shitting on him. He was definitely shitting on the truth. He was telling the truth. Let me ask you something, Spike. Have you ever coached anything?
Yes, people, I have.
Okay, so
he coached these hoes. That's what he trying to say.
So when you coach, bro, you have to be stern, right? But you also have to be softer to certain players, like the messaging, how you present the message.
Why? Okay, that's true. Why do you go tell that to somebody else though?
Again, we don't know the context of how they even got to
You know the
that point.
context. You do
I
know the
didn't watch the
context.
whole interview.
You seen
Did you
it?
watch the whole interview?
No,
Did you
no,
watch?
don't
All
do
right,
that.
no.
Don't do the
What do you mean
context
don't
shit
do that?
with me because
But that's
Dan
what it
Levitard,
is.
Dan
We got a
Levitard asked him
snippet.
about this specifically.
He
Look,
caught them
all,
off
all
guard,
I
though.
heard was what
He
Tua
caught
said.
them
I didn't
off
even
guard.
hear Dan Levitard.
Yeah, he caught them off guard. They wasn't prepared for that either. They was like, man, we didn't even know that was coming. And to like I said, just to
Yes.
bring it all out like that
That's
was kind of
and
wild.
that's my point. That's my point, Sheldon and FIFO. I didn't even know this was coming. Why do you have to say this? Yes, you experience this is cool, but what does that help?
You don't, yeah, right, nothing. And then again, at the same time, we could also say, I'd really like to know if he really said it to him like that, because he really just could have told him, "You're not it, son." But
Well,
when
he
you
came
ain't
out
used
and
to
said
being,
that, though. He
when
came
you
out and
ain't-
said he was
Hold
right.
on, hold on. I want to go back to what you said. What do you mean? Who is this supposed to help? This isn't. This is not supposed to help Brian Flores. This is supposed to help Tua.
It's helping Tua.
Okay,
It's helping Tua.
So what's the
I'm
problem?
a weak ass nigga. And I can't take
That's
criticism.
paid.
So I gotta go cry to Dan Levitard about
but you know
all the
what,
stuff
though?
that I went through when he was my
But
coach.
Spike, you're not going to lead the league in passing if you're not coachable. Not possible. It's not possible.
I don't know.
You're
what
not
you're
going
saying.
to.
I don't know what that
Well,
means.
you just continue to
what I'm
you prove him
saying-
wrong,
no, wait,
and then
hold
at the end of your career, you bring it up and say, "Look,
Yeah.
you were wrong."
Okay. And
That's what I would
that's a
bring it up.
coaching
Spike,
tactic.
what I'm saying.
That's a
Spike, what I'm
coaching
saying-
tactic, though.
Spike, what I'm saying
Many
is, if
people
you're
have done
going
that
to
throughout the
lead-
years,
if
not
you're
just
going
Brian
to
Flores.
lead- Spike, what I'm saying is, if you're going to lead a professional or a professional organization in a category, you had to be coachable. You don't do that by luck. You're not going to lead
Right.
the league
I
in
agree.
passing by luck.
Okay, Ken, I want to get your thoughts, but I gotta say this before I forget. There's three things with it I took away. One, I absolutely think Brian Flores said all the shit that Tua said too,
Yes.
because we know the
100%.
history. Two, even with Brian Flores saying all that shit, all them quarterbacks that he wanted over Tua, he was right. So at the end of the day, no, because he would, even right now, if somebody would say, "Would you rather have Justin Herbert than Tua Tagovailoa?" I bet you 99.9% of Miami Dolphins fans would make that trade today.
Yes.
And three, I will say this: Tua feeling himself. Tua is absolutely feeling himself right now. He's arguably, since D Wade and LeBron left Miami, he's probably the biggest star in Miami, based off of just football being a bigger fan base and all that. Maybe Jimmy Butler, but I think Tua with the Dolphins. Well, okay, yeah. So I'll say he's top three. But he's a top three personality in Miami right now. He just got paid. He's literally sitting on the couch just talking shit. I think that's an interesting Tua at this point in time, since he has no playoff success. As far as winning games, he's gotten them to the playoffs, but he has no playoff success as far as winning games. And I looked at his stats. His 2 years with Brian Flores, his first year, I don't even think he got over 2,000 yards total. And his second year, he didn't get over 2,700 yards passing wise. And then obviously when Mike McDaniels got there, all his stats blew up. But I didn't think about Lou's point as far as like doesn't help Brian Flores get his coaching another head coaching gig. He's probably just gonna stay a D coordinator because that's what he's at in Minnesota. But I was surprised that Tua brought this up in that much detail, because it's kind of just like, nigga, you talking all this shit like you actually done something since he left. I mean, getting the Dolphins to the playoffs, I guess, is doing something, but
And signing that contract, we know that first contract is what makes or breaks your NFL career, because the average NFL life is what, 3 years in the league, 2 years.
yeah, but the Dolphins proved that they didn't really value him like that. Because when we talk about Sheldon always keep on sending me stuff about the Bengals not signing Jamar Chase because this is 30 years, so you can re-sign him and stuff like that. They wait, FIFO, you know how long they waited to re-sign Tua?
But
it was
they
up in
signed him
year,
regardless.
but it was in
But at
year
the end of the
5.
day-
If you really believe, if they really fucked with him, they would have resigned him
But
right
Nick,
after Brian Flores.
But at the end of the day, they paid him regardless of how he got to that contract, bro. He got to that contract. And guess what? He's going to be in the league 10, 12 years, bro, because he got to this contract.
I'm just saying that he put a lot on Brian Flores when we know the whole organization was colluding to get Tom Brady to be there. It wasn't like
We
it was
know
just
that.
Brian.
So
So then where's his
okay,
smoke for ownership?
but at the end of the day, who is Tua talking to the most? The OC and the head coach. He's not talking to the owner and all of that all the time like he would his head coach and potentially the GM.
But if you're the
Come on,
franchise
bro.
QB, you are. If you're the franchise QB, you are. And they paid him like a franchise QB, right?
They paid him now, but like you just said, they were all talking trash about him. So you could obviously see what type of relationship he had with the entire organization.
So then why you ain't naming names? He named a name. He ain't say anybody else.
Because again, probably that type of criticism came directly from him. Because obviously the GM and the owner wanted Tua. Brian Flores was the one that didn't want him. He's the one talking trash to him.
I'm not disagreeing that he said this shit. Yeah,
but you were asking that how come nobody else in the organization was talking that smack? They wasn't. It was Brian Flores. Or if they was, it was behind closed doors. Tua never heard it. It was never directly in front of him. If the higher ups in the organization was talking that talk. But we know Brian Flores talked to him straight to his face. You know what, bro? You're not nice, bro. Man, I wish we would have drafted the other buddy. And for some players, you know, Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco was talking about it. Ocho was like, bro, like, I like that. I like when coaches got in my face. Pause. But at the end of the day, Nick, it don't motivate everybody. And for Tua, it didn't move him.
And in the first 2 years of Tua's career with Brian Flores, was Brian right?
Yes. We always thinking that. The same way we talk about Bryce Young, we was talking about with Tua Tagovailoa.
But can that be a byproduct of Brian Flores himself?
No, Tua wasn't good. Tua ain't that damn good to be talking this goddamn much shit, bro. To talking down on another man. Bro, it's probably a system, bro. It's probably not even Tua. Tua probably ain't as much better than he is under Brian Flores.
100%. But at the end of the day, Brian Flores did not create a system and or an environment for Tua to flourish. Therefore, Brian talked hella shit to him.
Because he probably wasn't good enough. He probably wasn't good enough. The fact,
but now he is. But then how he is,
or maybe he's healthier.
Is there.
Remember, he was playing air guitar one of them damn years. He was up under him, right?
Ken, do you know how many Brian Flores benched Tua for Fitzpatrick, bro?
Yeah, well, I remember Fitzmagic. Yeah, Tua wasn't a guy, man. Tua wasn't a guy. Maybe he found his Belichick.
He found Tyreek Hill. That's what happened.
That was the other thing I was gonna ask. Who the hell was it? Who were the weapons? Who was he throwing to?
Okay, so but now he got him. He got paid, and he's balling. So you know what? He get to say whatever.
I don't know why he keep bringing up the money. He gotta, like, these guys are gonna get paid. Like, of course they're gonna pay him, but I don't think that's relevant to the conversation.
Sam Darnold didn't get paid.
Sam Darnold never got a coach that could utilize his skills, or he just
that would have been Tua if he would have stayed with Brian Flores.
Bro, he just basically jeopardized another man from getting paid and just ruined this guy because Tua wasn't good enough to play in his first couple of years.
Tua is proving that he is good enough, and he's proving that Brian Flores is the issue. That's what he's proving.
Exactly, and that's the thing that I'm talking about. Is like, and now this makes me.
But that's a Brian Flores issue. That's not a Tua issue.
There was no issue until Tua brought it up. My thing is this: now we're gonna look at this season of the Miami Dolphins, and after Tua made these comments, and like you said, FIFA, after coming off of leading the NFL in passing yards, if this nigga don't get to the playoffs and win a playoff game, we bringing up this conversation again because you're like, when was Brian Flores wrong in that whole situation?
Oh yeah. We are because what happens when Waddle's not there? What happens when Tyreek Hill's not there? What happens when the weapons aren't there to help elevate him? When he's throwing a 2-yard pass and he's taking it 80 yards to the house.
Yeah, he's throwing up gang signs like.
All right, man. But I mean, I think there's something to be said about this generation. There's something to be said about toxic work culture and all this other stuff. And apparently what Tua is saying is that he was in an environment where he couldn't deal with criticism. And I'm kind of with Spike. I think that's weak mindset, but that's some folks can't help handle it.
If I
according
got
to FIFO.
If I got paid $200 million, the last thing I'm gonna talk about is a nigga who said I wasn't shit.
Shit, that'd be the first thing I'll talk about. Prove that motherfucker wrong.
I'm talking about like I'm not talking about like with the homies and shit. I'm just talking about like on air in the interview. He set it up too. Like he was like imagine. He's like, let me paint you a picture.
He did.
Right.
He just shitted on Flores, bro. He just completely ruined Flores' chance to get another job. That's the ultimate sabotage. That's some hating ass shit, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Flores.
Who a fucking hater, bro.
Be a better coach.
You know what I got from all this? Spike, you ain't never coached shit. Go ahead.
Hey, FIFO's questions be so disrespectful off rip.
Like you don't know a damn thing about coaching.
Oh boy.
All right, man. Let me read these super chats and we get out of here, bro. Are we still doing the fantasy league? I don't know. Manny asked me, bro. I've been thinking about it. I don't know. He won last year. I think that's probably why he wanted to run it back.
Yeah, anybody trying to hear
that is why he want to run. That's why. That's why.
So we'll see. Tua hates Brian Flores for life. New generation of players are not used to tough coaching. I would love to know, Spike. You brought up a very good point. I would love to know how Saban handled him, because I've seen Saban cuss out everybody.
Yeah.
So, have y'all played college football 25 or new Madden? Thoughts?
Yeah.
Yep. I played the college football. It's dope.
Yeah. I whooped up on Spike one night.
You did. Kick my ass.
One night. I like it. Definitely the league podcast will be coming back early to mid-September. That's when we're starting the league. College football, we have a dynasty. Nick and Ken are not a part of it. Neither is Spike. Spike is just spook. I don't know what's going on, but it is what it is. But yeah, I like it. I do like college football a little bit more than Madden. It just feels a little bit more fun because crazier shit can happen. But I like them both.
Facts.
Shout out to Adrian Wells. Appreciate it. Tracks Agenda. Lou says LA Clippers team is good. Can't name any players.
Chargers.
Damn, Clippers. Shit. You know, hey.
Justin Herbert. And there you go. I can name him.
Nick.
Man, why would you even put this out here, bro?
That's why I didn't want you to read it, bro. I got some hating ass niggas. Speaking, it's a lot of Tua energy in the damn chat.
And I fuck with Carson Palmer, so I would hate if this would be the case. So I hope that don't happen, bro. For real.
It's not gonna be the same as Carson because he went to the Super Bowl, so he's already better than Carson. Whatever. He went to 2-8. He went to 2 title games. I don't think Carson ever went to that. Granted, that 05 season, we were supposed to win that Super Bowl. That's my hatred. You want to know where my hatred was Pittsburgh come from? It's that 05 season where we had a snack roster. That was when niggas was that Chad Johnson, Chris Henry, TJ Husmanzada, bruh. Carson Palmer. I remember that was the year
Chris Henry. Chris Henry was gonna be nice, man.
Chris Henry was supposed to be nice.
It was Pac-Man too, right?
Not that year. That was later on.
Pac-Man was crazy, bro.
But the 05 season, he was in Dallas, I think, around that time. That's when he was going off. But the 05 season with the Bengals, they had a game like the Kansas City Chiefs had against the Rams. It was against the Browns, though. It was just everybody was throwing touchdowns there. I thought we was gonna win it all because Pittsburgh couldn't hold up. Pittsburgh was about to get blown their doors off with facing us in that playoff game, but then they had to do that dirty ass shit. Fuck my nigga knee up. We ain't been the same.
What about that game when y'all had the game won and somebody committed that stupid ass penalty? Was that versus Pittsburgh too?
Let's finish these super chats, kid. We got to get up. Luke getting sleepy. Look at his eyes.
That was a wild ass shit, bro. Anyway. We the boys. Keep in mind, Flores was trying to trade for Watson and talking shit about Tua. Well,
so
He a little heartless.
I'm
bro.
around. I'm around with Flores. I'm around. Like, who cares, bro?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. You're right, Trax. That was perfect, bro. Man.
Yeah, Vontez perfect. No, what really was the thing was Jeremy Hill fumbled the ball. That's
I
what
remember
started.
that too.
That's what started
Yep.
everything. It was that all he had to do was literally just hold on to it, and we win the game because this one kick a field goal, clock timeout.
That Burfict hit on AB was when the CTA happened.
That hit changed
the moment. That is the
both
moment.
franchises for life.
Yes.
Facts.
That's
the moment right there.
That one hit, bro. AB wasn't the same.
Yeah.
The coach got fired eventually, and y'all eventually got Burrow.
Exactly.
Man.
I would say we wasn't gonna go that far that season because we still had Andy. Oh no, we didn't even have Andy Dalton. We had he was hurt that season. We had the backup going. So I was just like, let's just beat Pittsburgh, and then we can just say this was a successful season. We couldn't even do that, bro. I called my pops and everything before that game. I'm like, damn, we don't, because that was gonna be the first game we won in like 20 years or some shit like that, bro. That was the worst conversation. That was the highest of highs and lowest of lows in one game.
Yeah. I hated seeing that shit. I was pulling for them too.
That was when I said that was the biggest rivalry. At that time, that rivalry was like that. For a long time, the biggest rivalry in sport in NFL was the Cowboys in Washington. But at that time, it was Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. Those were some crazy games.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be no rivalry no more, so but Joe Burrow, every other year, but AFC title game, we getting it, boy.
Damn, man, I just found it, Nick. You want me to play it?
Bro, let's end the show.
Fuck this. All right, man. Hey, man, that's going to do it for us, man. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We will do our top 10 quarterbacks. Top 10 quarterbacks, man. We'll catch you guys next time. We out. Peace.
Peace.